Welcome back to the GDQ Hotfix. My name is Dangerous, and this is Crosshair, the show that features runs with bullets. First-person shooters, third-person shooters, shmups, bullet hells, lasers, rockets, grenades, Pip Boys, and shotgun shells. If it's got bullets, or weird technology that's kind of hard to use, or mini nukes, then you can find it here on Crosshair. You got a run that you think qualifies for any of our GDQ Hotfix shows, but especially Crosshair. Head on over to gdq.gg/submit/hotfix and fill out that run submission form, and you may just find yourself on a future episode of the GDQ Hotfix. This is an episode I have been wanting to put together for a long time, and we finally were able to make it happen. Today is Bethesda Day here on Crosshair, and I thought, well, of course, if we're going to do Bethesda Day, we're going to have Fallout. And it just so happens that there is a buddy of mine who runs all of the Fallout games, and he happens to be with us here today. Tommy's here, so Tomato Angus, take it away, sir.
Hello, hi, thank you for the intro, Dangerous. I am Tomato Angus, the G is silent. I've ran Fallout Anthology for like 7 years now. I've been speedrunning Fallout in general for almost 9 years now. And yeah, this is a speedrun to beat Fallouts 1, 2, 3, New Vegas, and 4, all back to back. We don't do tactics, we don't do Brotherhood of Steel. This is the main series speedrun. So we're going to start with Fallout 1. You have to do them in order. So we're going to start with 1, then go to 2, etc., etc. But yeah, not too much else really to preface this run with. I think I'm pretty much ready to hop right into it if you guys are.
Oh, I'm so ready. Let's
awesome.
do this.
So we do have a pre-made character, just build that gets us through the run. And the timer will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
So, thank you. So Fallout 1, it's the most simple of all of the speedruns. In the story, we are from this Vault 13, and the water chip is failing. So we're sent out into the wasteland to figure out a solution. And right away, we just run past a bunch of rats, and we are making our way to a military base off in the distance over here. I'm not taking a straight line to it because we are moving through mountains, and mountains are kind of slow to get through. So we take kind of a diagonal to exit the mountains as quickly as possible and then start heading up towards the military base. And we're just praying to not get encounters here. This is a very luck-dependent speedrun, but we got an encounter, and I'm holding A as I enter the encounter, because A is the enter combat button, because this game has the combat glitch, where if you just keep holding A, you get every turn in combat. You continually re-enter combat. So I'm able to just hold A whenever we enter an encounter, and I just am able to combat glitch past the guys. That's a big piece of tech in Fallout 1. It's in Fallout 2 a little bit, though it's not of super consequence because they did kind of patch it, but there are kind of ways of going about it in that game. But anyway, here we are at the military base, and to complete the story, we just need to science this computer, and oh, I didn't science it correctly. There we go. I have to science this computer to get an interface where I armed the military base to explode, and we're pretty much done here. So we can just go leave. Fallout 1 is the storyline that I'm least versed in, so I can't really tell you all of the like minutia of what's going on. I just know whoops, that's not right. I accidentally made this game full screen. Sorry, give me a second. I did a quick save just for this exact instance. I accidentally clicked on the top of the window. There we go. There we go. All right, fixed.
Hey.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on in all the intimate details, but I do know we're blowing up this military base. And again, combat glitching past that guy. We do have another glitch where you can just like press 0 to escape certain dialogues like that one. And we're going to use that a couple times between the two games. The big piece of speed tech in Fallout 1 and 2, aside from the combat glitch, I just need to top off on health real quick because I was a little low, and these red walls damage you. The big glitch in Fallout 1 and 2 is speed clicking, where if you're running pretty much any direction, you can just kind of rhythmically tap and you run faster. It's actually a bugged running animation. Game froze there. Cool. So this is why we make a lot of quick saves. We make a lot of quick saves in Fallout 1 and 2 because the games really like to just like freeze at times, especially when you're exiting to the world map or exiting an area. And like if you're mashing a button or clicking, it's gonna lock you out. So whenever I'm running around and I'm not in combat, I'm typically rhythmically clicking. I'm like boom, 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 boom. Because of that broken running animation, it just causes us to run faster. And if you play as a woman, you actually run faster than a guy. Speed clicking is slightly faster as a girl. So in Fallout 1 and 2, we play as a girl. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Even more interesting, though, is that speed clicking is different in the different directions. And it's actually not... Speed clicking is most productive when you're going like south, when you're going down. And it's really hard when you're going up. I'm going to level up all of these skills real quick because we are going to be using them. And it's very obnoxious to do this part if you're failing any of them. But yeah, so like right here, I'm about to speed click up and left, and that's usually really hard to do. But I do have clicking bound to my scroll wheel for Fallout 1 and 2, so I'm able to click fast enough to be able to do that. But now we are at a place called the Cathedral, which is, again, I'm shaking on the lore, but it's a holdout for a bunch of bad guys. And similar to the military base, we are going to just pretty much arm this place to explode. So again, just combat glitching past a lot of these guys. There are a ton of super mutants here. So the first one right here, we're going to again use that 0 exit out of the dialogue thing with a quick save, quick load thrown in just to like get his AI to kind of break and he won't try and attack us. And then we need to get past all of these guys. So I'm going to, again, just combat glitch past them. And we need to do some lock picking. So we're going to lock pick this. We're going to lock pick the elevator as well. And then we're going to ride the elevator on up to a part of this cathedral, this base area that has a nuclear warhead ready to arm. And this is kind of how we're going to break the game to finish early. Is I'm going to arm the warhead and time entering combat with the instant that it arms. And right now I'm just trying to get it. If I don't get it, then I'm just reloading the quick save and doing it again. And the way that I'll know that I get it is it'll say in the bottom left in this terminal thing like nuclear warhead armed, but we will be in combat and these guys will not be attacking us because if we just arm the warhead, they'll attack us. But here you can see we failed the security check or the science check. This is why I was leveling up the science skill a little bit ago alongside speech. And there I armed it successfully, but I didn't enter combat in time, so they got angry. And this glitch it's not hard, it's just really easy to mess up. And I've kind of had the yips with this the past week or two. Keep getting it early. Again, not skilled enough to defeat the security mechanism. It's actually really unfortunate that twice now we've gotten it, but we've failed the science check. This is actually really embarrassing how many tries it's taking. There we go. So armed the warhead, we were able to walk away because of the combat. And now we just leave this base, and that's pretty much Fallout 1. So again, I just have to combat glitch past all of these guys. Hope that they don't aggro, because sometimes people can aggro through combat glitch, though it's not too common. And then to finish the game, all we have to do is, once we ride this elevator down, I'm going to talk to a dude real quick. And now I just exit, and it'll warp us back to Vault 13, and that is the end of Fallout 1. So now we can go on to Fallout 2.
Yay.
Yeah. In the story of Fallout 1, regardless of how you solve the problem of the water chip, your guy's like, hey, your overseer's kind of like, hey, you're contaminated. Sorry, you can't come back in. But thanks. So now,
thanks, that is.
I know, right? Kind of rude. But now we're on to Fallout 2, which opens with a pretty famous infamous Temple of Trials sequence, where you're supposed to go through, and it's this big thing. There's a bunch of ants. A lot of people actually bounce off the game at this intro sequence. And it's, in the speedrun, it's not horrible, but this entire stretch is really just all about manipulating the ants' movements and RNG so you can get past them all as quickly as possible. And it's like surprisingly deep and complicated, the ways to get past them, because like I said earlier, the combat glitch doesn't exactly work the same in Fallout 2 as Fallout 1. You can try and do it, and like sometimes it'll work, but you kind of have to throw in some extra steps, like manually exiting combat first. Anyway, we're through the temple, except we just have to pass this speech check to convince this guy named Cameron to not fight us. And yeah, now we are out into Fallout 2 proper. So the story of Fallout 2, again, I'm a little shaky on it, but more or less the bad guys are the Enclave, and we need to destroy their holdout, which is a big oil rig. I'm moving through the wasteland here, hoping we don't get an encounter, but we got one. This might be a kind of a bad encounter to get, not because it's run ending, but it's just slow. We're going to be waiting on all these turns, but we're almost to our destination. If I was grinding for PB right now, I would be loading my quick save I made right before entering the wasteland and just spamming trying to travel down to San Francisco, because that's where I'm trying to go right now, is San Francisco. Because there's a vendor there and a few things of note that we need to accomplish in order to be able to get to the Enclave's oil rig. So as soon as these hobologists and press gang stop fighting, and once I'm able to exit this combat, I'll just travel that last little bit across the map to Chinatown. You might have also noticed that the map in the world map is much faster in Fallout 2 than Fallout 1. In short, don't worry about it. In long, it's something to do with the original patch of the game, and we kind of down patched the game in a way. Anyway, I just pickpocketed this vendor from all the money he has, and I am shopping with him for a few specific items, which he has most of. I do have to check manually if he has one other item. Okay, he does. Wow, this is great. This is actually really great luck. So Fallout 2, if Fallout 1 is all RNG, Fallout 2 is whatever is more than all. It's just RNG overload, because, you already saw that we had to deal with encounters on the wasteland. The ants at the beginning are a little bit of RNG. And now it's RNG of making sure this guy has the right inventory, making sure you pickpocket him successfully, making sure that bomb kills him like it just did, making sure he has this item, which you have to check a separate inventory for. It's just a mess right out the gate of RNG, and it's only gonna get worse. So the big things I want from him are power armor, some explosives, and something to make ourselves stupid, which is psycho, because we need to lower our intelligence in order to properly commune with a few NPCs who we are going to be talking to. But now that we have the bombs and everything, we went to the world map to enter Chinatown or San Francisco again, because you can use hotkeys when you're entering the area to quickly travel to other places. So we're here to talk to this guy, Ken Lee. And by talk to him, I mean arm 3 bombs and place them in his inventory. So we need Ken Lee to die because of the people who we are the people who are going to kind of scam to get to the oil rig. We're going to trick them into letting us use their ship. We need to kill Ken Lee in order for them to let us use their ship. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. This is another big RNG point, not just like the reverse pickpocketing the bombs onto Ken, because he will catch you a lot, but also whether or not the bombs actually kill him. So oftentimes you'll have to just like completely grind out that area. But we killed him, and then I did another fancy thing to be able to get to the world map quickly. It's called a save warp. You're going to hear something really similar to it later called a load warp, which is entirely different, and that's in Fallout 4. But in Fallout 1 and 2, a save warp is more or less making a quick save, then loading a save that you made in the same area earlier, exiting to the world map, then quitting to the main menu, and loading the quick save again. And it takes your character from the quick save and travels them to the world map quickly. So I'm going to do another one of those again in a second right here. I just talked to this guy over here, Oz9, and told him Ken Lee is dead. And I lowered my intelligence to talk to those people because they are a cult and you do need a low intelligence for them to actually listen to you. There we go. So we pretty much convinced them to let us use their ship to go to the oil rig. So I did another save warp to be able to get to here quickly, and that's our last save warp that we'll see in Fallout 2. It doesn't save, it saves a good amount of time, but not anything major. I would say like a dozen or so seconds, but you know, that type of stuff adds up. So here we are at the oil rig. This is where the Enclave are held out. And in order to actually get around here without them all attacking us, we're going to put on some power armor, because even though we're wearing different power armor than they're wearing, they'll be like, oh yeah, you're wearing power armor. You're supposed to be here. So we're going to be wearing the power armor through a lot of areas that we otherwise wouldn't be able to normally navigate. And this is why it's so important that the vendor we talked to earlier, Lao Cho, this is why it's so important that he has power armor, because we really need it for this part, because we are, for all intents and purposes, beating this like run, like level 1, got nothing but the random stuff that we've bought. We're pretty weak, and we will get rocked by anything in combat. And you might be thinking, if you played this game, well, how are you going to kill the final boss? Because the final boss of Fallout 2 is probably the strongest enemy in all of the Fallout series. His name is Frank Horrigan. And he's like the head general for, pretty much like the head general for the Enclave and whatnot. He's like part super mutant. He's like a billion feet tall and has 999 health. He's a real pain. But we do have a way around it. So right here, just solving a maze, grabbing an item we need from up there for a quest. And we are now making our way to go and grab, we're going to talk to the president. This is the president up here, President Dick Richardson. He has a key card on him. I believe it's a key card. And we need that key card because that key card is it's kind of the crux of how we're going to kill Frank Horrigan. It allows us to arm turrets in the fight and use those to fight Frankie. So I'm going to zero out of the president's dialogue and then arm a bomb and put it in his pocket. Glad he doesn't catch us. We're going to just pass some time real quick. Hope he dies. He did. Cool. Take the key card. And now we are going to make one more stop before we can go talk to Frankie boy. We need to go talk to this scientist down here. Like I said, to finish the game, we need to blow up the oil rig. And we're going to talk to this scientist and pretty much convince him to do that for us. He's like, hey, I'll blow up my place of employment. Sure. Just with a simple speech check. And normally you can only do that when you're pretty smart. You have to have a high intelligence skill to be able to convince him to do that. And if you remember earlier, we did lower our intelligence purposely, but at one point earlier, I did kind of stall on the world map and pass a little bit of extra time. And that was so that the psycho debuff ran out. So that then I was, I can't remember if I'm buffed and I have extra intelligence now and I was able to convince him because of that, or if we're just back up to our base intelligence. Regardless, it was enough to convince that guy. I totally forget his name. But now we're at the final area. I convinced Sergeant Granite and these soldiers to help me in this fight. They're not that strong, though. In fact, if we could remove them from this fight, we would. Because really, they just eat up turns. And if this fight was just these 6 turrets fighting Horrigan, we'd be in great shape. It'd go much faster. But yeah, this is kind of the end of the Fallout 2 run, where all we're going to do is stand here and skip every single one of our turns and just watch this little box down here and just hope that we see big numbers on Frank. And by big numbers, I mean something in the hundreds. He has 999 health. So we're just hoping that we get some crits. A good question is, why am I taking off my power armor occasionally? I'm taking off the power armor at times where I don't need the power armor disguise. And we want to take it off whenever we can, because running in power armor is actually pretty slow. You can kind of speed click in it going certain directions, but even then it's generally faster to run around without power armor. So typically I'm trying to do that whenever we can. But the only bit of running left in the game is once Frank Horrigan dies, I'm going to run from this terminal I'm at just up to this door and exit, and that's the end of Fallout 2. So it's just a lot of waiting now. Trying to think if there's anything else super important, any other important questions or whatnot people often ask.
Less than 20 minutes in, and we've already cleared out 2 of them. There's only 3 left.
Really cool. So big crit, 268, knocked him down, but not dead.
Nice.
Oh, something that's kind of cool is you'll notice that Frank Horrigan got knocked down to 1 knee there. Typically when you kill Frank, there's this long animation that plays of like, he gets like split in half and he falls over and it's kind of gnarly. It's pretty cool, but that's slow. So in the settings of the game, we actually turn the violence level to like minimum or none. And that makes it so that when he dies, he just takes a knee like that, which is faster. And yeah, this is the end of Fallout 2. There we go.
GG.
That's Fallout 2 over. So now we're going to swap to Fallout 3. We're going to enter the realm of 3D. We're going to enter the realm of a 16:9 aspect ratio. Super exciting stuff. And Fallout 3 is a bit unique in the Fallout games because as a speedrun, it's the only one where we skip the intro. We actually load a pre-made save to skip the intro cutscene, and we're just running around as a baby. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on with Fallout 3 in terms of movement. One of the big ones is stop hopping. And that's this kind of flicking motion you see me do. It's kind of hard to actually stop hop as a baby. But in short, think of it as bunny hopping, except you need to flick your camera and also let go of W anytime you land. So it's not really bunny hopping. It's its own thing, but it's kind of like bunny hopping. Now I'm going to be doing that during the vault segment. I'm also doing a skip where I push Dad with the truck so that I can push him into a dialogue trigger and he doesn't have to walk. We are the strongest baby known to man. Still have to wait for him to walk up to us, I guess. There we go. And now we skip forward a few years. We go to a birthday party, but we are speedrunners. We want to avoid social interaction, so we will be skipping our own birthday party by just doing a bunch of quick save and quick loads and then clipping out through the door. And here's actual stop hopping. Now that I'm not a baby, my movement's a bit more normal. It's just a lot of flicking the camera while doing that bunny hopping and letting go of W. So you'll notice a lot of quick saving and quick loading. A lot of the screen flashing, like blinking. That's really great for clipping. It's really great for skipping dialogue. It also kind of resets some enemy animations, which is going to potentially come in handy later when we actually have guys trying to shoot us. We can quick save, quick load to reset their animation of trying to shoot us, and they won't shoot us. But other than that, we're trying to just get through this intro part of the vault as quickly as possible. Usually the vault, it takes a bit to get through. You know, it's a great sequence. It's one of my favorite openings of a game. It's a bit of a drag on playthroughs, but thankfully, even though we're like 16 years old right now, we're still technically a kid. We can leave the vault early by clipping out of bounds. That's automatically going to bring us to the escape sequence as if we were like an 18 or 19-year-old. And I'm going to do that just by walking backwards and clipping out right now. And now we're in the escape sequence. Our dad is missing. He is left somewhere, even though he was just on screen a moment ago. And we can actually do this at any time. You can actually leave the vault this way as a baby, but babies move really slow. Okay, the game crashed there. I've never had the game crash there, which is really interesting. That's never happened before. That's never happened before. You can... I'm trying to remember. So you can leave the vault as a baby. I'm pretty sure you can beat the game as a baby, but you need to drop items for you to stand on to reach the buttons at the end of the game because you can't reach them otherwise.
That's hilarious.
And then you can also leave the vault as like a 10-year-old and beat the game, except I actually don't think you can fully beat it as a 10-year-old because of something with you're not able to press certain buttons in that age. Anyway, here we are at the worst nightmare of every Fallout speedrunner. We are trying to get a glitch called Speed Cripple right now, where I break my leg and quick load at the same time. And this is something that you can have your timing be absolutely perfect and it won't happen. Just because it only works on certain launches of the game and we don't really have any control over it. So I'm not getting it right there. Normally that would be like a reset in Fallout 3 any percent run. But we do have a backup. It's a little slower, but it's pretty consistent. Where I'm going to go and shop with a vendor who spawns up here named Lucky Harith. And he sells a missile launcher. Typically, he sells a missile launcher, I should say, because sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes you get here and you're SOL. But we're gonna do a glitch to get like a bunch of store credits with him, where I'm essentially selling him a bunch of his own stuff. I'm doing an item dupe on items in his inventory. There we go.
Robbing this man blind.
Oh yeah, and just you wait. This is not the first time we will be robbing someone blind in this run. Fallout 4, it is egregious. Okay, I accidentally, let me see. Okay, good. I quick saved before. I forgot to quick save. So, again, just gonna rob this man blind. Let's make sure he has everything. Yep, we're all good. There we go. So we're gonna bind the missile launcher. We're gonna take it out. I might need to relaunch my game here for this to work, but pretty much I'm quick saving or quick loading right after I shoot the ground. And what I'm looking for is me walking really fast. But like I said, it doesn't work on every given launch of the game, so I'm just gonna reboot the game real quick. This happens a lot with Fallout 3. So I'll explain exactly how this speed cripple glitch works and why it makes us move fast. Almost had it there. Not quite. I'm gonna reboot again. You might notice that sometimes I walk really fast and then I quick save, quick load, and it disappears. That's what we call a fake speed cripple. We need speed cripple that persists across saves. No, not quite. So I guess I can explain the way this works as I'm going for it. When you break your leg, in the game, it's like the cripple mechanic. You have crippled your leg, you have crippled your arm. When you break your leg, the game typically takes away like 70% of your movement speed. But if you quick load pretty much right when you break your leg, the game accidentally, after you load, adds that movement speed back on. So typically it's like, oh, broken leg, you either heal or you load a different save. The game adds your like 60 or 70 movement speed back that it had taken away from you. And by quick loading as it breaks, it adds the movement speed again after you load in with full movement speed. And it lets you run fast. So right now we're running at like about 160, 170% movement speed. which is pretty cool. It's pretty substantial in Fallout 3, especially with how much running we have to do. There's a fair bit of running that we do right now to go and discover an important location for later on that we're going to fast travel to. And then...
it was nothing.
Oh, right there, you just heard someone say, I guess it was nothing. That was actually my character. So typically your protagonist in 3 and New Vegas are silent, but because we left the vault as a 16-year-old, we are considered a child. And all children in this game share, or most children in this game share like default voice lines. So that is like the default child voice saying, I guess it was nothing anytime we exit combat. So anytime we like run past an enemy, the game is going to like put us into combat. And then once we're far enough away from them, our character is going to say, I guess it was nothing. So I just did some quick save, quick loading to get out of bounds. And that's just to discover the Citadel from out of bounds. And now we just fast travel back to the vault and we start heading the other direction. So the story of Fallout 3. We grew up in a vault. I guess I didn't even talk about the story of Fallout 2 other than we need to kill the Enclave. And honestly, it's because I don't know much of the story of Fallout 2 other than we're like a descendant from one of the vault dwellers, or we're a descendant of the protagonist from the first game or something like that. I don't know. Fallout 3. We grew up in the vault with our dad, Liam Neeson. When we turn like 18 or 19, he leaves the vault. It's this big deal because no one is supposed to enter or leave our vault. That's kind of its whole deal. Like all the vaults are different experiments, and Vault 101 is, I want to say the experiment is like a totally authoritarian, or not, maybe not authoritarian, but Overseer has like truly all of the power, and it's supposed to never be opened. Well, our dad left. He opened the vault door, so it was this big thing, and we're searching for our dad. And most people who have played this game know where your dad is located. He's off in a garage somewhere. I'll just leave it at that. And you can actually go straight there and skip all of the searching around for him. Or you can go straight to one of the last locations in the game and grab an item that you're not supposed to be able to have access to. And then when you grab that item, it skips a quest forward and you get taken to pretty much the final sequence of the game. Normally, you're supposed to go and rescue your dad, and then you and him have to go and get this item. It's all around water security. It's all around securing water for the vault, for the wasteland. Trying to, our dad's like lifelong project is this thing called Project Purity, which is all about purifying the water in the capital wasteland. That is the name of where we are, since we are in the capital of the United States. We are in Washington, D.C. So we are making our way to Little Lamplight right now, where I am going to clip out of bounds and then do a fun thing called void swimming, which is pretty much swimming in the void. You swim on air. And we're going to do that to be able to quickly get to and open a door to a different area that will take us to Vault 87. So we're just cutting a big old corner is kind of what's going on. Right up here, over this crest, is going to be a super mutant. We're going to pray that he tries to throw a grenade and says hot potato. He went for the paddle. Shame. Whenever he says hot potato, that just means you get good luck. Doesn't happen too often. Sometimes he'll try and throw the grenade and he'll be like, here it comes. But when he says hot potato, that's when you know you're really cooking up a good run. So, yeah. Fallout 3, Little Lamplight's right up here. So when I enter Little Lamplight, I'm going to clip out of bounds. And when you fall out of bounds too far, the game will relocate you to a predetermined location inbounds, which it just did. And right here, I'm going to clip out again. I'm going to swim into the void, quick save, swim into the water, quick load. And now I am swimming on air. And in fact, I'm able to kind of do stop hops on the top of the water.
Nice.
Which is pretty interesting. Yeah, it is nice because actually, typically, you're not able to stop hop and have speed cripple. The movement speed of those two don't stack. So you're normally like You do one or the other. That's a common question that people ask when they're like first seeing the run is, well, why aren't you still stop hopping when you have speed cripple? It just doesn't work that way. But when you're in water, you can stop hop on top. It's a little faster than just swimming because your swimming speed is still normal. We still swim really slowly. We do have another workaround. We're going to swim at one point later, but we have a different workaround we're going to be doing, which is really cool. But I'll save that for when we get there. I'm just now about to enter Vault 80. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. Just about to enter Vault 87. And this is my favorite stretch of the run because it's just a lot of really cool out of bouncing. And I'm doing this all to pretty much skip a lot of the vault and get to the GDQ. That's the thing that we're trying to get. That's that item that we need in order to purify the water in the wasteland, is the GDQ. So I'm just making my way there. This is a bit of a scary clip. There we go. That's a clip where you are, thank you. That's a clip where you're kind of floating in air, ramming your face into a wall to try and get in. And if you aren't able to successfully clip, you'll just gradually fall down into the void in COC, and you have to do a bit of movement to get back there. But yeah, so
I do like the fact that the game is still telling you to go talk to Mr. Broch about your exam. That's
of course,
very funny.
never play hooky, kids. This is the wildest day of hooky in existence. So I had to go turn on that fire alarm for quest trigger reasons. If you don't do it, then you kind of soft lock yourself. And here I'm doing that's another one of those scary clips. And I go into third person to be able to, I'm in third person interacting with the GDQ through this wall. The third person camera actually can poke through walls and you can interact with things. We're going to do that again in one other spot in New Vegas. Maybe actually two other spots in New Vegas. New Vegas and 3 share a lot of tech, except unfortunately New Vegas has the way cooler tech that 3 doesn't have. So here I'm doing a really interesting skip where I'm using my vault suit to block the path of Colonel Autumn. Hopefully, this is a skip where if you're able to successfully block his movement a little bit, then the dialogue in this cutscene of him talking to this Enclave soldier, they overlap. So we'll know we got it if he talks right after this soldier right here.
Objective is secured, sir.
That's cool.
Oh, we missed it. Unfortunately, we didn't get it.
Darn.
Bit of a bummer. It's not the end of the world. It's about like a 20 to 30 second time loss. For a long time, that was something that we didn't know what caused it. It was just kind of a random effect where the two of them are just talking at each other the entire cutscene, and it's a lot faster, but we didn't know what caused it. And then over time, a lot of people put in a lot of investigation when we learned is, oh, you can force that to happen by interrupting Colonel Autumn's movement with an item. So that's what I was going for, but it's pretty finicky. But anyway, we just got kidnapped by the Enclave, and this is the president talking to us. I'm doing some timed out quick save, quick loads to skip his lines, and then we're going to clip out of bounds. And in this area, so we got kidnapped by the Enclave. We are pretty much just going to be running to the finish, but we do need to grab one item from the president in a moment. But we need to get to him first, and it's just a lot of cool clips. I quick save, quick load through these doors because you can't quick save, quick load through them just straight up, but you can quick save, quick load through them when they're like 20% open. That's a pretty cool clip to bypass a combat room. Then I'm just going to strafe up these stairs. At the top is President John Henry Eden. I believe that's his first and last middle name. So we're going to talk to him, just mash through all of his dialogue. I am both clicking and mashing enter to get through his dialogue. We're going to grab this item from the Zax panel and then clip out of bounds. Again, and the game crashed again. Super cool Fallout 3. Super cool.
Yes, excellent.
Yeah. Genuinely, Fallout 3 is typically the least prone to crashing of all of the games. But because of this, we don't have speed cripple anymore.
Oh, no.
So I could load a save I made to to get speed cripple again, but instead I'm going to do time stop. If you attempt to pull up the Pip-Boy map, but right-click at the same time, oh, I hope I hit the triggers. Shoot, I guess I can't time stop through this part. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. So because I'm not fast anymore, this is a really dangerous hallway. So I time stop, which pretty much freezes time, as you've seen.
Hello.
And I'm just doing that to get past all these guys and leave. And time stop, again, is just trying to pull up the Pip-Boy, but mashing right-click in succession. And typically, you're not supposed to be able to do time stop because you have something bound to the right mouse button. But we actually unbind our right mouse button to be able to do time stop. So I'm going to do another time stop here, though I'm not sure if it'll actually be beneficial. But the reason why we do it here is because we're now underwater. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, water doesn't really have physics when you're time stopped, which is really cool. So we use it to walk across the bottom of the water as opposed to swimming across the top. Time stopping is, you can really see my my mouse movement when I'm stop hopping with time stop. It's pretty cool. But yeah, we do that to get out of bounds here, discover this location. And now we're going to the final part of the run, which is just going to the purification chamber and punching in the code to purify the wasteland. Gonna do this clip. Clipping without speed cripple is actually pretty scary because your speed does play into, that's the end of Fallout 3. We just ended Fallout 3. Thank you. Without speed cripple, you're moving slower, and speed does help with clips. So it's kind of scary, but we were able to nail that clip. But here we are now in New Vegas. New Vegas. So New Vegas is one where we could skip the intro, but we don't. Oh, there we go. And by could, I mean, similar to Fallout 3, this intro is more or less the same as Fallout 3's intro, where you sit there, you make your character, you punch in your name, and then you stand up. But just a long time ago, there was a bit more of a fracture in the 3 in New Vegas speedrunning community. And by a long time ago, I mean like the early 2010s. And New Vegas runners decided to include all of this, while Fallout 3 runners and they decided to skip the intro. And you know, nowadays the Fallout 3 and New Vegas community are much more in sync. Like, people run both all the time, as you can see as I'm doing right now. But you know, just a remnant of those early days of speedrunning, we still do the New Vegas intro. And New Vegas is a really cool speedrun because it has what I think is one of the coolest pieces of movement tech in all of speedrunning, which is infinite dashing. So again, quick saving and quick loading is a thing. You'll notice though that it doesn't look quite like a blink in this one. I mean, it kind of does, but you actually get a full loading screen. And the reason why it looks like a blink in this run is because we've actually replaced the loading screen visuals with just a black screen, because it flashbangs you much less. You're just having a black screen appear on screen for a moment as opposed to like a bright tan or golden thing. So right now I'm just doing all my character creation. Nothing too fancy. But in order to do infinite dashing, which is the really cool movement tech, we need a gun with a 1 bullet at a time reload animation. And thankfully, why am I, what?
Whoa, what on earth?
What is happening here? What is happening? What did I do? What did I do here? What?
Do we say the thing again?
What? Oh, okay. Oh, weird. Why is it zooming in?
What? Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, it's like zooming in. What is going on? Okay, let me reboot the game. Yeah, it's for some reason it's like I'm zooming in. I don't have caps lock or anything on. It's weird. You can see Let's see. Oh, there we go. Back to normal. Okay, for some reason.
Okay. Wow.
For some reason, the game locked me in the zoomed in state, as if I was like aiming down iron sights or something. Anyway, Chet here has a gun with a 1 bullet at a time reload animation that he actually is selling, which is really cool. If he isn't selling it, then we actually kill Chet. That's why I had this grenade launcher ready. We would just do something like that. I guess Chet's dead now.
Just killed him anyway.
yeah, just for fun. But this is infinite dashing. This is the big movement tech in New Vegas, where you're able to just dash and like a freaking plane. I'll explain it a bit more in a second, but in short, there is a glitch called reload dashing, which is like you do a dash forward like this, but you can chain them infinitely by more or less swapping your ammo type, and that's where that bugged 1 bullet at a time reload animation comes in. I guess, okay, let me go back. Fallout New Vegas, they added multiple ammo types. You can swap ammo type, and for some reason, if you're swapping ammo types with a gun with a 1 bullet at a time reload animation, and you unequip the gun while you're swapping ammo and then do a couple other small inputs, you're able to just dash forward. So that's what we're doing. The only downside is that you have to quick save, quick load in order to chain it like that, unless you're on perfectly flat ground. But we're going to be infinite dashing a lot. We got caught by Victor here, which is no biggie. So I'm just chaining that infinite dash from area to area. Right here, we use it to actually blow past the doorman inside of the Ultralux. This is a bit scary. There we go. Saved. We're going to talk to Mortimer here. Mortimer is the head of a faction, or I guess a tribe. In order to beat the game, you need to meet all of the tribes. And the fastest way to meet them is oftentimes going up and talking to them. Sometimes you have to fight them. Right here with Mortimer, all we have to do is talk to him. But I am going to just shoot him real quick because that means that we will be in combat. And the doorman here is supposed to not talk to us. Actually, that's why we actually shoot Mortimer. But sometimes you get unlucky, and he talks to you anyway. But we've now met the White Glove Society. And we are now here at the tops. So the story of Fallout New Vegas, we got shot in the head, and there's a whole power play going on for control of New Vegas, and we're going to side with Yes Man, who is the pure chaos option. I'm leveling up speech pretty much every time I can, except for there I leveled up survival for a perk that it'll give us, or a trait that it'll give us. We kill Benny in the lobby, and then we're just going to be so fast that no one can keep up with us as we dash to the back of the tops, take the elevator up, and talk to Yes Man. We looted Benny because he has a key item on him and also a key on him. I totally messed up this dialogue. There we go. But yeah, we've now met Yes Man, and pretty much he's like, hey, go meet all of the tribes in New Vegas, and you can beat the game with me. So that's what we're going to be doing, is we're going to be going around and meeting all of the tribes in New Vegas. One of the tribes here is the Gamora guys, the Omertas, and we just walk in and say, oh, sorry, I don't want to be here, and that's enough to meet them. And now we're going to take a quick detour to go and meet Mr. House. Mr. House is another faction. But since we're, there are tribes and there are factions. Mr. House, Yes Man, these are factions. NCR, these are factions. These are people you finished the game with. Here's a third person interact again to hit the terminal. The tribes are just like players of consequence. So in order for Yes Man to take control, we do need to dispose of Mr. House. So we just killed Mr. House. And, now that his seat is vacant, Yes Man will be able to take it, but we are going to go and meet a few other of the tribes first. The remaining tribes, I should say. I'm going to play this safe here to make sure I discover a location. I'm making sure I discover this location to fast travel back later. And now we're off to go meet all of the tribes. So again, we're just infinite dashing and quick save, quick loading to chain it. And we only have 2 tribes left to meet because we've already met the Omertas by going in and saying bye. We've already met the White Glove Society. We technically have met the Khans, and right here we just met the Boomers by killing their leader. And we only have the Brotherhood of Steel left to meet, and they are in this handy little hidden bunker here. And rather than talk to them, we're just going to shoot a grenade at this door, and they're standing right on the other side of this door, and the explosion hits them through the door. Oops, there we go. The explosion hits them through the door, so they're like, we kind of attack them, which counts as meeting the Brotherhood. So we've now met all of the tribes. So now that we've done that, we're going to go and put Yes Man on his rightful throne. I'm going to talk to him, say, I'd like for you to meet me at the tops. And we're just making our way back there. Or sorry, not tops, the Lucky 38. We're going back to meet Yes Man. So we are uploading Yes Man into Mr. House's thing. And again, there is more to the New Vegas story. There's a lot of politics to it, which is really cool. I love the New Vegas story. But ultimately, it just boils down to who are you going to let rule New Vegas? And Yes Man is like the goofy wild card option then they throw in as a failsafe in case you kill everyone. But he just so happens to be the fastest. But when he takes over Mr. House's spot, he's like, wow, Mr. House has a lot of weapons. And Yes Man wants to put on a whole demonstration, and that's long and slow. But by alternating quick save, quick load, and waiting an hour, we're able to skip pretty much all of the lines of his demonstration individually. So that's what we're doing right here. We have to do this like 13 times. So right now I'm waiting until the clock reads about 6:56 a.m. And then third person interacting with the door to leave. And now Yes Man's in power. We're all good. This is where we now talk to him and say, hey, we met all the tribes. I met the Boomers. I met the Khans. I met the Omertas. I met everyone. The one that you might be like, wait, how did you meet the Khans? All you have to do is go to their home. You just have to go to the Red Rocks, which is what I did like right out the gate once I got the gun to infinite dash with. Because that is right by Good Springs where we start. So here I just have to power that terminal up for the quest. And now we can make our way back to Yes Man. And this is going to lead into the final set piece of the game, where we have to do the Battle of the Hoover Dam, which is like this awesome moment, total chaos. And rather than go through the dam and everything, we are just going to dash over an invisible wall and skip all of it. So I dash this way, climb up a little bit of height, dash over there, and just cut this corner all the way to the Leggett camp. Yeah, very cool. We're here.
Oh, cool.
I just do a dash, and we speak to Leggett Lanius. We've been leveling speech all run so that we can talk him out of fighting us. So he'll run away. He goes and hides. And then we just do a dash right there. And this is pretty much the end of New Vegas. We just have to do a dialogue with Colonel Autumn, or not Autumn. What's your name? General Lee Oliver, that's your name. Here we go. And as it wouldn't be a New Vegas run for GDQ without throwing General Lee Oliver off the dam.
Whee! Splat.
Oh, we got a little level up. Cool.
Sure, we'll take leveling up in the final cutscene.
And yeah, we talked to Yes Man, and that is Fallout New Vegas. And I love showing this off just real quick. We sit here and watch the end slides, but it turns out you are literally just in front of a wall projecting it, and the person talking to you is Ron the narrator standing right behind the wall. But yeah, that is New Vegas.
Dressed as one of the Legion for some reason.
Yep. He's one of the Legion.
Nice. Well, we are going to press pause on the timer there because we are fans of health and wellness here at GDQ, and we like to take a break at the halfway point during these longer runs that's are little bits more strenuous to sit through and do the whole thing. So we're going to take a quick break while we are getting ready for the next. Welcome back to Crosshair. We are on a Fallout marathon with Tomato Angus, who has just speedrun Fallout 1, Fallout 2, Fallout 3, and Fallout New Vegas, and now we're going to be seeing Fallout 4. So, Tommy, take it away.
Awesome. Fallout 4. This is my bread and butter. This is the first game I ever speedran. This is my baby. This is an absolute abomination of a speedrun. We are going to make this hardly resemble Fallout 4 within the next half hour. Right out the gate, there is some pretty interesting tech that the run hasn't started yet. I will do the countdown in a moment. But during this intro, when you create your character, your handy dandy Mr. Handy robot Codsworth is roaming the house. So if you talk to him, we have to talk to him right away, right at the start of the run. And if you talk to him at a certain point in his movement, you actually save a second. So by spending all this time just kind of stalling, and I actually do I go through all these phases to time things out, you'll save a second because Codsworth will be kind of walking from this door to the kitchen. So timer will resume in 3, 2, 1, and go. So thank you. So I talked to Codsworth right away. And yeah, Fallout 4, very slow to start. Something worth mentioning right away is I do have the Pip-Boy app. If you aren't aware, Fallout 4 was released with a Pip-Boy app. So whenever you see this thing come up in the bottom right corner, that is the Pip-Boy app. It is I'm running it through an Android emulator, and I have a little hotkey for popping it up on screen. And I'm going to be using this to mostly fast travel, do a little bit of menuing, but it really enables one particular glitch in a way that otherwise would be really toxic to do. We would have to do a lot of really delicately timed load warps, which I actually did at AGDQ 2020 when I did Anthology there. I did not have the Pip-Boy app then, and I had to do 7 load warps, and we had Covert Muffin wearing 7 pairs of pants. And just in hindsight,
I remember that.
Yeah, just in hindsight, absolutely ridiculous that I was able to accomplish that in a marathon setting. But now we have the Pip-Boy app, so we don't need to worry about it. But this intro, we're going to talk to this guy and do our stats. For our stats, I'm going to max endurance and agility, because that is what makes us sprint for the longest. Endurance makes it so that our AP regens faster. Agility increases our max AP, so we have more AP to sprint with, and then we dump the rest into luck because it is physically the fastest to put it into. But the rest of this intro, up until we kind of run up to the gate, is gonna be just kind of standing here and talking to people right when they need us.
Sounds like a good time for me to jump in and remind folks, if you have been catching Hotfix recently, then you probably heard that the Games Done Quick is hiring. If you have experience in administrative assistance, you can apply for a mainline event contract in sponsorship operations. If you are an expert in broadcast strategy and marketing development and are looking for full-time work, you can apply to be part of the management team as creative director at Games Done Quick. Apply or share with someone you know that may be interested by February 15th. That is coming up soon. That is, this coming Sunday. So deadline is coming up soon. I assume that you are doing some sort of RNG manipulation by opening and closing the closet multiple times.
Entirely RNG manip.
Yeah.
But now that the door is open, we don't have to manip anymore. We can just leave our spouse and child behind in the dust. The bombs are falling. We got to get to the vault. Screw them. At the top of this hill, I'm going to talk to a military general, and I'm going to mash E to talk to him a second time as we finish our line saying we're on the list, and hopefully that means we can just run right past him. Yep, there we go. That's called list skip. Works sometimes, sometimes it doesn't. Nothing major, but here we have the first actual glitch of the run. This is called Clive, which stands for Clip into Vault Elevator. In short, when you spam pause on a platform that is moving up or down, you can clip through it. So right here, I have pause bound to my scroll wheel. So as we lower, at a certain point, I'm going to start spamming pause, and I will lower through the floor, as you'll see. And this makes me fall into the trigger to load into the vault slightly sooner. And then I'm gonna do a harder one right here. I'm just gonna focus for a second. The timing on this is really narrow, but it will save like 15 seconds if I get it. Oh, we didn't get it. If you get it, you're able to get through this gate early, and you don't have to wait for it here. Now, the downside for going for it is we took some damage in doing so, because we fell down like that entire shaft. So we are going to have somewhere between like a quarter health to 3/4 health. So we're going to hope that we didn't take too much damage. But yeah, now it's time for another kind of... Now is time for an actual cutscene where we're going to be getting into the cryopod up ahead and just waiting. I'm doing some funky camera stuff right now and pathing stuff to try and hopefully manipulate the doctor to run past us in a moment. But again, it's not an exact... It's you know, it's more magic than science trying to get that to work. But this is where things get really interesting, because this is where I get to explain all of the ridiculous stuff you're about to see. 2 of the ridiculous things you're about to see. 3. So the first thing you're going to see is item clipping. Pretty much what it sounds like. You pick up an item, you hold it under you, you walk into walls. It helps you clip through a wall or climb the wall to clip over it. So I'm going to be doing that with a couple cones to skip a thing. I'm also going to be grabbing a security baton, like right away. And I'm going to grab that because having the security baton enables VATS, and we need VATS to set up a punch warp. A punch warp is pretty much attempting to melee attack something in VATS with a melee weapon, like a security baton. You can do it with your fists, but it's easier to just have a baton. Attempting to melee attack something in VATS and positioning yourself so the pathfinding is really hard, and the game has to think for a second on how to move you to your target. So I'm going to kind of like nuzzle myself against a pillar and attempt to melee attack a rad roach on the other side. And then while the game is processing and thinking how to move me, I'm going to cancel the attack. What that does is it stores the coordinates of where I was standing. So then the next time I attempt to melee attack something in VATS, I get teleported back to those coordinates. So I'm going to set it up on the rad roach in a moment, which stores my coordinates somewhere in the vault, but those coordinates, when you transpose them to the overworld, the wasteland, those coordinates are around the center. It's like around the 000 point, because like you're not going to teleport to where that place is. I'm not going to teleport to like Vault 111 in the overworld. I'm going to teleport to where those coordinates align in the overworld, which is near the center of the map. The third thing I'm going to do is the most complicated one. Remember earlier how I talked about when you fall out of bounds, the game warps you to a predetermined location? That is called Center on Cell, COC. We're going to be using COC far more in Fallout 4 than in the other runs. But Fallout 4, they added one little stipulation. If you fall out of bounds, you hit the COC plane, warped back to the predetermined point. But if you fall underneath the map and there's solid ground above you, then you get upwarped. Instead of going to the predetermined location, you get sent to the location directly above you. So in short, I'm going to navigate on top of the map and go out of bounds to be able to fall underneath the vault elevator. And then I'm going to quick save, quick load to hopefully warp to the top of the elevator and straight into the loading zone to skip the vault elevator and save 40 seconds. So let's do this. Let's recap it as we go. So first VLC clip, item clip, but specifically when you do it with a cone, we call it a VLC clip. Set up the punch warp.
Got it.
And now I'm going to do this other item climb. This part's kind of sketchy, so I'm going to make a safety save up top. I'm going to make a save right here. Now I'm going to run out of bounds. Fall underneath the elevator. Quick save, quick load. And we got it. So we just skipped the vault ride. Thank you, thank you. We skipped the elevator ride up. Saved about 40 seconds. And now we're going to go run down this hill. Discover Sanctuary, our home. Trigger our punch warp. And get warped to the center of the map. Also, my health, it's kind of low. I'm at like a quarter health to a third health. Pretty low, which is kind of scary, but we're going to manage. I'm just going to have to play things safe with some enemies near the start. And also save often. So here we go. I trigger this on the Rad Roach, and this is warping me to the center of the map. This saves so much running. So much running. And also just makes it much easier. Right here, I'm discovering a location right here. I discovered this big green building, Green Tech Genetics. We will be coming back here later. Remember the name, Green Tech Genetics. And now it is time to run past enemies. And because my health is so low, I'm going to do some serpentining because that's my placebo effect for I think they're going to miss more. I'm going to make a save here for later. And then my health is really low right now. So I'm going to actually try and play this really safe since it's a marathon setting. Whenever you move in water in this game, it's actually faster to just jump along the surface of the water. Let's hope this dog doesn't bite us, and let's hope that raider behind us doesn't shoot us. Cool, we should be good. Because my health is so low, usually I pick up a frag mine straight ahead, like by this truck. But when you do that, these gunners over here aggro onto you, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to skip grabbing the frag mine because I should have enough frag mines for the rest of the run. We just discovered a location for later, Old Corner Bookstore. And now remember earlier when you're like, man, we just robbed that man blind in Fallout 3 at the start? Well, this is where we get to do more robbing people blind. Pretty much doing a like stack underflow or something here to be able to get infinite store credit with Cleo. There you go. I have hundreds of thousands in credit with her. Buy a gun to use, buy some armor we're going to sell to trade, buy some pipe pistols for clipping. I didn't buy the pipe pistols, so let me just rob her blind again. There we go. Speak with Daisy. I'm going to sell the armor that I just bought with Cleo to her to get store credit. Buy a different piece of armor. Look for a biometric scanner. Cool, she has one. Steal the Fat Man and Mini Nuke, and then quick save. So my quick save is the person who just stole the Fat Man and Mini Nuke, and I'm loading that save I made on the bridge. Here comes load warping. This is when it gets messy. Let's go. So, my quick save is the character who just did all the shopping, right? I have like no health. Holy smokes. When I swim into this pipe, the screen is going to fade to black. I'm going to quick load during that fade to black. So when you quick load during a fade to black like that, when I load in on the other side, I will be the character from the quick save. So I took the character from Good Neighbor and I moved them to the other side of this pipe. Separately, I make a quick save and load it from the main menu immediately. This loads me in at the top of the water, which puts me out of bounds. That is separate from the load warp. I'm now binding everything I just bought. But I'm now out of bounds in this sewer area, right? Out of bounds. And I am going to swim, brush up along this pipe. And what that does is it hits a trigger for the final quest in the game. So when I load in outside, you will see on the left side of the screen, it's going to pop up saying the nuclear option. I now have the nuclear option quest, which is the final quest in the game. And you might be thinking, well, why can't you just go and finish the game now? Well, to finish the game, we need to be able to enter the Institute. As soon as we're in the Institute, we are able to finish the game with the nuclear option quest. But to enter the Institute, we need to build a teleporter. But to build a teleporter, we need to meet Virgil. We need a Courser chip. We need a bunch of different things. So I'm setting up a punch warp here real quick. We are pretty much doing a bunch of things to be able to enter the Institute. I just set up a punch warp there. I'm going to trigger that later. I also made a save as I was throwing that frag mine up because we're going to be setting up that punch warp a lot. Get used to reading the Cambridge save file because my God, we're going to be loading it about 12 times. It's just a really good spot because it allows us to more or less corrupt our save file. Anyway, here with Deb, we are going to rob her blind as well by putting an item of ours in her inventory and then clicking to move this item over and also confirm at the same time. See, I should owe her 6,700 caps, but I don't need to. I can just confirm it. I'm going to do it again on this other thing. There we go. So I now have all my armor. This armor is good because it increases our move speed by 10%. This armor is good because it increases our move speed by 10%. This armor is good because it increases our endurance by 1. And all of those things help us sprint more, sprint faster. And what we're going to be doing is we're pretty much going to be corrupting our save over and over. And each time we do that, it unequips whatever we have equipped, but the effects remain. So we're going to corrupt our save in a way that you'll see in a moment. And once we gain control again after corrupting our save, we can re-equip all of our armor, but the effects from the first time we had them equipped will persist. So rather than having +1 endurance, we'll have the +1 from before and +1 from re-equipping everything. We'll have the 20% bonus move speed from the 2 equipped legs, plus an additional 20% from equipping them again. But we need to go into Diamond City to be able to do that. We refer to that as stacking. So I'm going to do one more VLC clip right here. Just clip through that wall. And here is where Fallout 4 turns into loading screen simulator for a little bit. So I'm going to make a save right away. And I'm going to punch warp, triggering that punch warp that I set up by throwing it in the air. And this is going to bring me out of bounds in Diamond City and to a place that we refer to as the Hex Zone, which pretty much corrupts our save. So here I am, corrupted save. I have no control pretty much. I'm making a quick save and I'm loading the save to set up this punch warp again. Because I'm going to be corrupting the save, like I said, over and over. And this is where the Pip-Boy app is going to come in handy. So I set up that punch warp again and I load the save, the hard save I made right when I entered Diamond City. And here I'm going to run up to a door and I'm going to load warp with the quick save of the character in the Hex Zone. So I'm taking the character from the Hex Zone and moving them to the other side of this door. Now, similar earlier with the load warp, there was just a big old fade to black, but that's when you're entering like a cavernous area, when you're entering a cave, when you're entering something that doesn't have a door. When you enter something with a door, the timing on load warping is very precise, and it's not during the fade to black. You have to do it beforehand. So I'm looking at the handle here. All right, I did it late. I messed up. I was a little late. That's okay. I need to make a save on the other side here for later. That looked good. There was no fade to black. I think we got it. Yeah, okay, we got it. So I'm setting up the Pip-Boy app. You can see my cursor over there. Setting it up for the map. There we go. I just re-equipped everything. Oh, they're mad at me. Why are they mad at me? Wait. This is weird. Why are they mad at me? Why are they mad? Why would they be mad? Why would they be mad? I have an idea. Let me just double check. Okay, they're going to actually kill me. I think I know what's going on, though. I think I know what happened. I just have to redo that punch warp. What happened, I'm pretty sure, is I forgot to disarm the frag mine at the top of the stairs. So when Piper and Mayor McDonough re-entered the city, the frag mine blew up on them. I'm pretty sure that's why. If not, we're going to have some problem solving to do. But I'm pretty sure that's why. Thankfully, we can just load this save and load warp out again. But I'm doing all of that load warp again. Let me focus for a second to try and get this and hopefully diagnose why pretty much this load warp is horrible. Okay, that might have been a little early, but I think we got it. This load warp is horrible. We want to avoid doing it. Okay, I think we should be good. And the reason why we have the Pip-Boy app... Yeah, there we go. We're good.
Hey, let's go.
The Pip-Boy app is because after the first load warp, you're able to just use it to fast travel back to Diamond City. So now we're going to be doing this stack over and over and just using the Pip-Boy app to fast travel to Diamond City. We were unable to do the fast travel with the Pip-Boy app the first time because we didn't pick up the Pip-Boy in the vault. And the game kind of locks you out of the Pip-Boy app because of that. Until you do a load warp from the Hex Zone, it then kind of enables it. It's weird. I don't know the exact technical reason why. But in short, now that we have access to our Pip-Boy, we can do this over and over. Just waiting. There we go. So that was our third stack that we've done. We did stacks 1 and 2 kind of concurrently, and that was our third one. We're going to be stacking 10 times total. We're doing it 9 times right now. And then we'll do one more later. So I punch out of bounds into the Hex Zone, fast travel to Diamond City. When I load in, I quick save. And then I load the punch warp save to set it up again. So that was stack 4. So right now, if I load it in, I'd be moving at about like 200% movement speed or so. Close to it, if not exactly. So again, I'm just mashing Q, which is the VATS button. That is like the selecting of the object in the loading screen. A lot of people don't know this. If you press the VATS button, you select the object in the loading screen. So when you see that, it's because I'm mashing the VATS button to be able to set up a punch warp while the screen is still black, setting it up on that frag mine as it's in the air, which you have to do pretty quickly, otherwise the frag mine falls. So we're doing all of this corrupting and like, frankly, like practically quantum like bullshit to be able to really just stack our movement speed a ton and also our endurance. Our endurance is going to be so high that we will never run out of AP. We will be regenerating AP at a faster rate than we can spend it.
That's funny.
Yeah. So this is stack 6.
Actually, there's a question that, well, it's mostly a question for me, but it kind of was prompted by something somebody said in chat. Are you playing on the current patch, or do you down patch this game in order to play it?
That's a great question. This is patch 1.1.30. This is one of the early patches in the game. I believe the game was released on version 1.1.29, and this is the first official patch of the game's release. Wow. For some reason, the number 1.1.23 is also sticking out in my mind. But we're playing on one of the early patched versions of the game, mainly because at this point, we mainly do it because of the vendor glitches. One of the vendor glitches that we do, specifically the underflow one with Cleo, that one got patched out pretty early on. The one with Deb got patched out a bit later. We used to be playing on this patch for different reasons. There's a different glitch that's available only on this patch or earlier, and this is the most stable build with that glitch in it. That glitch being cover sliding. But we don't really do cover sliding anymore in the run. Once we discovered punch warping and had a year or 2 with it, we were able to kind of flesh out ways to replace all of our cover slides with punch warps, which was great. Very, very good for the health of the speedrun. But then we found this stuff, which has totally taken it in the other direction for health of a speedrun because there's so many loading screens.
Man, I remember watching like that whole fiasco unfold when punch warping got replaced, and then like just I remember watching all that and just being fascinated by it, because it was actually before I had started speedrunning myself. And just I was seeing all that and going, wow, this is like it's like a soap opera.
Yeah, there's I mean, I'm sure that you've experienced it as well. Whenever like a big new discovery happens in speedrunning, especially ones that have technical ramifications such as this.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of debate that goes into it all. Sorry, let me just make sure. Okay, wait, I have to did I already make the save? Yes, I did. Okay, cool. Let me just double check. There we go. Okay, so we are on the final stack right now. So I needed to do things a little differently, including making that save and also fast traveling to the Diamond City market instead, because we do have other things to do in Diamond City, but now you'll see I move very fast. Yeah. I'm making a few saves for later. I'm entering Nick's detective agency, and as soon as I load in, I quick save, and then I'm gonna load warp right on out. Okay, yeah, so I can delete that save. There we go. I'm gonna load warp right on out. The reason why we enter Nick's agency there is later on we're going to be killing Kellogg, the guy who kidnapped our baby at the start of the run. Spoiler, sorry, we do have to kill him. He's the one person in this run in the game you do have to kill. And we're going to be killing him totally out of sequence. And when you kill him out of sequence, if you have entered Nick's agency once before that, then Nick gets teleported to the agency after you kill Kellogg, instead of having to go and rescue him in Vault 114 at Park Street Station. So by entering Nick's agency there, we no longer have to go and rescue him. Classic, the game saying my quick save was not found, even though I made a quick save twice. That is very common in runs of Fallout 4. The game kind of eating inputs and eating saves. So let's hope that doesn't happen again in a more important spot. But I just set up a punch warp in the top left corner of the map, and I'm going to trigger it specifically in the back of this bus. And this punch warp is trying to bring me to the far top left corner. But because of the way the game loads, it's going to drop me off somewhere about 3/4 of the way there, which just so happens to be above the roof of the Museum of Freedom, which is where the Minutemen hang out. I didn't level up. I guess I did. There we go. My XP is a little off because I didn't pick up that frag mine earlier. But now we are going into the Museum of Freedom. And this part I'm going to do a little out of the order than I typically do, because there is a guy over here. That guy specifically loves to run in. The guy I just killed, he loves to run into the wall and get stuck. And then he's just infinitely falling. And you can't do anything about it because he's falling out of bounds. And you can try and like melee him through the wall and get lucky, but that rarely works. But yeah, we go to the Museum of Freedom because we're not going to side with the Minutemen ultimately. But because we did the nuclear option sequence break, Sturgis has this item in his inventory, so we're going to pickpocket that off of him. Got caught twice in a row. That's very, very cool. That's a 1% chance. There we go. And now I'm going to load warp back to Diamond City. And this is where we do the final stack of the armor is on our way out of the Museum of Freedom. Because like I've talked about, load warping is a great way to take your character from your quick save and move them to a location of a different save. And in practice, that's more or less just fast traveling, but with saves. So that's kind of what load warping ultimately is just fast traveling with saves. I totally forgot. Come on, Tommy, you got to set up your punch warp first. I totally forgot about that. So I just have to set up this punch warp. Load warp out. And then that pickpocket on Sturgis, it's a 10% chance to fail. So failing it twice in a row, 10% times 10%, 1%. So we got pretty unlucky there. I failed it like 4 times in a row once, which was egregious. But I'm setting up my Pip-Boy app map to fast travel out. Again, punch warping to the hex zone. And now I'm fast traveling to the location I triggered the punch warp in the back of the bus from. So when I load in, it'll be my final stack. We have done all 10 stacks. I'm going to grab this frag mine that I threw down just because I think I am a little low on frag mines and just want to be a little safe. And now we begin our big run. This is the long running sequence in Fallout 4. Thankfully, we were moving at like 300% speed, so it goes by pretty quick. But some of you might be asking, I guess first I should say we are running to the far bottom left corner of the map. We are running to the exterior of Virgil's cave. Virgil being a super mutant who is a former scientist at the Institute. Again, to finish the game, we need to enter the Institute. To enter the Institute, we need to build the teleporter. To build the teleporter, we need a courser chip. To spawn a courser chip into the world, we need to talk to Virgil. Virgil doesn't spawn until after we do certain other things, though. So we're running down here now because we are going to make a save outside of Virgil's home to load warp into later. And also, it discovers a few locations down here that will come in handy. Like Crater of Adam. We're actually going to be fast traveling back to Crater of Adam pretty soon. I already have a biometric scanner, so I do not need to take a detour here. There is a chance the game can eat the one biometric scanner we have later on. We'll just hope that we don't cross that bridge when we get there. And when I run up here, I'm going to make a save right here. And then I'm going to fast travel to Lexington. You might be asking why I couldn't just punch warp down to Virgil's. Virgil's coordinates are so extreme that you cannot punch warp to it. Because realistically, in the overworld, you can only punch warp to the center of the map. And he's far bottom left corner. So now we're taking this detour. We discovered this location during our punch warp to the Museum of Freedom. And here I'm setting up a punch warp up top. And then I'm going to clip out of bounds and down into a vault. Or a vault, not like a vault tech vault, but just like a vault for storing things. Where I grabbed Carrington's prototype, which I promptly drop. Which you can see gives me a quest. That item that I just dropped, that item is required for the Railroad loyalty quest. The Railroad is one of the factions in this game, and they are going to be who we finish the game with. Alongside the Minutemen, kinda. So we need to grab that item for their loyalty quest. And we drop it because for some reason dropping it updates the quest. So when we go and meet the Railroad, they'll believe that we've already done everything. Oh, really? The game? Oh my God. See, it ate my quick save again. So now what I have to do is I have to do the switchboard again. No big deal. No big deal. We're okay. We're okay. The game's just being kind of devious right now. Which it likes to be sometimes. Yesterday I was doing anthology world record attempts. And I was 15 seconds ahead of my record going into the final loading screen. And the game crashed on the final loading screen. So I missed setting a new record by terrible. 1 second.
Jeez.
So Fallout 4 is cruel sometimes. It's being particularly cruel at the moment. So again, I dropped that for later. Where am I going? Okay. Think, Tommy, think. Okay, got an idea. I'm going to... Oh, it's just not letting... Weird. I don't have like any... All right, I'm just going to have to do TCL real quick because the game keeps eating all of my quick saves. Sorry for having to bust that out. The game is just...
It happens.
Game is like genuinely eating every quick save I'm attempting to make, which I've not seen before.
Yeah, Fallout 4 being Fallout.
Yep. So I traveled to the Crater of Adam, and I'm going to make a quick save here, and I'm going to make it in the menu, and we're all going to see me make the quick save. We're all going to see it.
We're going to watch.
Everyone is witness. Quick save, okay? Quick save is there. Cool. So now, I'm going to set up a punch warp with the save that was made on top of the Museum of Freedom when I punch warped there. I made that save when I leveled up. It automatically makes the save. So now, this is where the run gets it's been messed up the whole time. But now I'm pretty much punch warping across the map and mashing M to pull up my Pip-Boy and interrupt the punch warp. This doesn't work every time. In fact, it didn't work there. We need to end up at a very specific spot. This isn't bad that, it's time loss when it doesn't work, but it's not major. Usually you get it anytime between your first and your third attempt, with us, of course, wanting it on the first attempt. So we're going to do it again. Throw it down. Start mashing M to interrupt. There we go. So this teleported us to Fort Hagen. This is where Kellogg is hiding, the guy who kidnapped our son, Sean, that's kind of the crux of this game, is trying to rescue our son, Sean. We are searching for Sean, and we clip into this building with the pipe pistol. That is the sequence break that will enable Nick to get teleported to his agency. And then I'm going to do another clip, and I got out my Fat Man to prepare for a big gun skill check when I speak with Kellogg. This is to convince him for the dialogue and whatnot. Clip out of bounds, drop down. I'm making another save here just for safety. Because for some reason, that was the big gun skill check. Speech check.
Big guns, yeah, skill check, yeah.
I make a quick save. For some reason, the game really likes to corrupt this quick save. So hopefully it didn't corrupt. And now that I killed Kellogg, I'm going to load warp into Nick's agency. Hopefully I didn't load too early. If I quick loaded too early, then I just load the quick load or the quick save. So I would be back in Fort Hagen, just like that. But that since it loaded, that means that it's not corrupted, which is good. That's a good sign.
Yay. Finally.
Fallout 4, finally cooperating. Okay, that looked good. So this load warp will load me in on the other side of this door as the character who just killed Kellogg. So as you can see, Nick is here. Real quick, while he and Piper are chit-chatting, I'm going to set up a punch warp real quick. Also steal a hot plate. Oh, okay, I got caught, so Ellie's going to try and take it back. That's okay. But in the story, we have killed Kellogg, and we looted his body. We took part of his brain, more or less. Kellogg has a bunch of cybernetic enhancements, and he has one in his mind. So we took the thing from his mind, and we are going to use that to explore his memories. And through exploring his memories, we learned that the Institute uses teleportation to enter and exit. And we need to go through those memories because finishing that quest is the trigger for Virgil to spawn. And we need Virgil to spawn because speaking to Virgil is what gets the Courser to spawn, who we need the Courser chip from. And we need the Courser chip because the Courser chip is required to build the teleporter, which we need to enter the Institute. Papa Paul Bless, father of American speedrunning. Paul Revere statue. When I enter here, I am going to just run up and trigger this punch warp on a ghoul to quickly get to the basement. And this is where we meet the railroad, where we're going to chat with them. And, we just apparated in front of them. We didn't exist to them a moment ago, and suddenly we are in front of them, and they just stand here with these floodlights all the time waiting for people to just appear in front of them. And more or less, they just met us. We just, broke the laws of physics in front of them. But when we talk to them, right after we finish this dialogue, we're going to have a dialogue with Deacon, who is now on our right. And he's like, great, we got what we're looking for. The item that I dropped earlier in the switchboard. So I walk away, and that triggers another dialogue where pretty much they're like, yep, we went and we killed 1 billion synths. We killed 1 billion fake. We killed 1 billion androids to get this. And now I'm a part of the railroad. So in joining the railroad, there's typically a long dialogue you have to do, but by fast traveling to a far enough away location and then fast traveling back and then fast traveling to our next destination, it skips all of that. Just doing some fast traveling to pass time. And then when I load in, I now fast travel to Good Neighbor. And here is where we are going to the memory den. Something that I have neglected to mention. Fallout New Vegas was in Italian, which is 4 seconds faster. Fallout 4 is in French because it's 11 seconds faster, though I don't think it's 11 any longer. I think it's a little less than that. But it's just a faster dialogue. The time save for Fallout New Vegas is entirely in the opening dialogue with Doc Mitchell. The time save for Fallout 4 is in the intro and then also the memory den sequence. If we didn't do the memory den sequence and we somehow found a way to skip it, which I do have a bounty out on, then German would be the fastest because German has the fastest intro. But French has the fastest memory sequence, which overall makes it the fastest language to do. So while she gets Nick ready for us to explore Kellogg's memories, I set up a punch warp. I'm going to run to the exit, set up another punch warp setup save here, and I exit the building and re-enter because this skips a ton of dialogue between Amari and Nick. This skips a lot of like her putting Kellogg's brain chip into Nick and all of that stuff. And then I'm just going to trigger the punch warp that I set up in the basement to skip running all the way back down. So now this is leading to us entering Kellogg's mine. But rather than go through this as normal, I am going to make a quick save and then load warp out using the door that I originally load warped in DC with. Hopefully I hit it there. Cool. First try. Very nice. So I am taking the character who just sat down in the memory lounger and load warping them through that door, which, long story short, is going to give me control inside of the memory den sequence, inside of the memories. I just set up a punch warp, which is good because we're going to be punch warping to the end of the memories. And then I load that save and interact with the bench and then quick load because that is what's going to give me control in the memories. On a technical level, pretty much the game applies a status to you called an input enable layer when you enter the memories, which takes away all of your like weapons and stuff. But by so there we just punch warp to the end of the memories. But by doing all that funky load warp stuff and then getting onto a bench, you're able to remove those input enable layers and give us control. That's why I'm able to have my gun out here. That's why I'm able to like do everything that I can normally in here. I'm able to pull up my Pip-Boy if I wanted, all that stuff. Normally in a run, I would be trying to kill down the courser here, but I'm not going to, just because I'm a little low on ammo. And this run has already had enough go wrong that I don't want to risk it for an extra 5 seconds of time save. So you can skip a lot of dialogue in this game by shooting people, specifically allies. You can shoot an ally to skip their dialogue. Here, they're pretty much invulnerable. Like, see, doesn't do anything. But if I shoot him, he actually aggroes. He aggroes. Out of everyone in the memory, he's the one who actually aggroes. Shooting him doesn't skip a line, though. But if you down him during one of his lines, that skips whatever line he is currently on. He just gets downed, he sits down, and then he'll stand back up. But we typically in a run, if I'm going for record attempts and whatnot, I will down him, and then I will down him like right as he starts a line. And then I have to wait for him to stand back up and get healthy. And then I down him again right as he starts another line. And we do this all by just headshotting him a ton with the pistol. It only saves a few seconds. Not anything major. We can't kill the courser in doing this. Yeah, we just kind of have to wait. Just kind of have to wait for this to go.
I do enjoy the fact that after talking about how French is the fastest language, chat started spamming French. Because of course they did.
Of course, of course. So, now as the memory sequence ends, make sure I have my gun equipped. Because when I exit, I am going to be mashing VATS to target Amari and be able to shoot her immediately. It's going to do two things. One, it'll stand me up out of the chair faster. Two, it'll skip the rest of her dialogue and update a quest. It will aggro her to me, but that's okay. I'm also going to set up another punch warp using the memory den save that I just set up. I can delete that save now. And we're now going to load warp to Virgil. So we're taking the character who just went through the memory sequence. We're load warping into Virgil's home. So we will now be the character who just went through the memories entering Virgil's home. Normally, if you come here before the memories, he won't be here. But since we just did the memories, here's our guy.
Hey.
Showing off them toes.
Where's Dante?
Who? Who?
Devil May Cry reference.
So I'm going to talk with Virgil here and just get through the dialogue. Nothing fancy. I just can't I can't mash too fast because he has a propensity more than any other NPC in this game to really lock up dialogue and lose you time. So I can't mash too fast. Some dialogues you want to mash faster on. Others you want to mash slower on. And this is the one you really want to make sure you're mashing slow. Now, when I did the load warp out from the memory den, I did load that save I made for setting up the punch warp, and I set up a punch warp in the memory den. Those coordinates happen to align with the second floor of Green Tech Genetics because Green Tech Genetics is where that courser spawns. Remember that big old green building before we got traumatized by this game deleting all of our quick saves? That big old green building that we punch warped to earlier? We're back! We're back! This door is finally loaded in. This door only loads in after you've talked to Virgil and update the quest. We cannot come here before this point in the game. Otherwise, like, it just is inaccessible. And the courser is in here. This is where we're going to get a courser chip. So I'm going to trigger that punch warp. This brings me up a ton. I'm going to set up another punch warp here. Ride this elevator. And once the elevator doors open, I'm going to punch warp again. And this will take me up even higher, up towards where the courser is. Not the same courser who we saw in the memory den. A different courser. But I just jump in. I take out my fat man for the big gun speech check. Kill the courser, take his courser chip, make a quick save. I'm going to set up another punch warp here in the memory den. And then I'm going to load warp to the Fens. This is the Diamond City one. I'm going to load warp to Diamond City again. When I load in on the other side, again, I will be the character from the quick save. So I will be the character who just killed the courser, now has the courser chip. So if we go back We have the final quest in the game, but we need to enter the Institute to actually finish the game. To enter the Institute, we need a teleporter. To build the teleporter, we need a courser chip. So we have the courser chip now, which is great. The courser chip is going to tell us pretty much the coordinates, not the coordinates that we're using to punch warp, the lore coordinates of where the Institute is and how we can teleport there. Doing some looting because we're going to do some crafting later. And now it's just a bit of talking to advance quests. And I'm going to sleep real quick, take a fat nap in the middle of this to skip Des walking. I sleep specifically 3 hours to manipulate this guy, Tinker Tom, because he's going to be sleeping later. And by sleeping 3 hours to get it to be close to 1 p.m., that should hopefully manipulate the in-game time and his schedule enough so that he's sleeping in a specific bed on a specific side of the bed. Because with the way the time works out, he's probably going to be sleeping when we come back later to talk to him, and we have to wake him up, and that's really slow. But if he's sleeping specifically in this bed on the left side or the bed over there on the left side, then when we talk to him, he's going to pop right up. So I got to a specific point in that dialogue. I had to shoot him real quick, and then I fast travel away to Virgil. Pretty much, Tinker Tom just decoded the courser chip, and Virgil is going to give us the plans for the teleporter. Virgil is the one who knows how to build the teleporter. He's going to give us the plans in exchange for us promising that when we go to the Institute, we will get the serum that will cure him of his super mutantness and turn him back to a person. So we just made that deal with him. Unfortunately, that is the last time we will be seeing Virgil in this run. We will not hold up our end of the deal.
Bye, Virgil.
Bye, Virgil. Hope you find your dad. And now we go back to the railroad, and we pretty much progress the dialogue to say, all right, time to build the teleporter. Shoot her a couple of times to skip a line. Go and find Tinker Tom. Here he is. I'm going to talk to not Virgil, talk to Tinker Tom, progress it to a certain point, loot a couple more things, and then I'm going to fast travel to Sanctuary, our hometown. Yep, there we go. Oh, there's the telephone. There we go. I'm going to drop the military-grade circuit board. That is an item that I looted when I killed Kellogg. Drop it because otherwise it can get consumed when I build something right here, and I need to save it. And then when I load in, I build the first part of the teleporter, which updates the quest, and now I have to go talk to Tinker Tom to build the rest of the teleporter. This is when Tom is hopefully sleeping in the right spot, and you'll see what I mean by popping right up. Yep. So we talk to him, and he stands right up like it's nothing. Lightest sleeper known to man. So we progress the quest, pick up the item we just dropped, and then we fast travel back to Sanctuary. And here's where we will build the teleporter. Finally build the teleporter. This is my favorite part of the run, just because building this cleanly is really fun. Sometimes, though, the game likes to kind of mess with you by having things wait forever to load in, just like it's doing here.
I remember watching an old video of you watching your like first run of this, like way back when, and you built the teleporter and you went, okay, I think I had a birthday somewhere in there.
That sounds right. I know the video you're speaking of. Can we do the... oh, that's funny. So, at the end of this dialogue, they're going to ask me to stand on the teleporter to get teleported into the Institute. Normally, there's a long dialogue of Tom being like, oh, it's powering up. Oh no, things are falling apart. The teleporter. Ah! But if you step on, wait a moment, and then fast travel away, it skips all of that dialogue. When we load in, we will instantly be teleported. You will see the lightning like that. So now when I load in, I will be in the Institute. I'm going to make a quick save. And I'm making an actual save as well because this game is being so mean. I'm going to trigger a punch warp that I made, set up after killing the courser when I loaded the memory den save. set up another punch warp down here, and then I'm going to quick load just to go right back up to the top. So now up here at the entrance to the Institute, in this terminal, I load up that holotape I pickpocketed off of Sturge's forever ago. And this teleports in Preston, which is confusing because we're not siding with the railroad. We're siding with the Minutemen. Sorry, we're not siding with the Minutemen. We're siding with the railroad. I got that reversed. But because of the nuclear option sequence break, we're kind of completing it with both the railroad and the Minutemen. So he just gave us this item. So I'm gonna trigger my punch warp on him just to go down, back down to that door. Make a save, because we will be load warping that door. And set up another punch warp. Let me do that again. I'm not sure I fully set that up. There we go. And I'm going to trigger this punch warp here. And this is going to warp me kind of across this area to the reactor of the Institute, which I load the fusion pulse charge onto to pretty much blow up the Institute. So now that that's set up, this game is like held together at duct tape at this point. And it's real. I hate when things are explained by, we confuse the game here. The game is confused. Because like, what does that actually tell us, right?
Yeah.
But in short, since we're ending the game with both the railroad and the Minutemen, the railroad are still actually in their HQ, despite technically they should have been teleported to the Institute by now. So when I load in here, I'm going to shoot Dez. She thinks she's in the Institute. Not now, drummer boy. Okay. I'm just going to... I was supposed to shoot her to aggro her, to skip all of this. We now get teleported back to the Institute. Typically 4 shots aggroes her. For some reason, she didn't get aggroed by 4 shots there. She's just built different this run, I guess. But now that we're back in the Institute, again, game confused. We load it. We teleport to the railroad because we need to talk to Tom. And set up one more punch warp. I'm going to talk to Tom. And with us finishing that line, our quest has updated enough to where we can load warp back to the Institute to finish the game. But this load warp, there's no visual cue, so I need a metronome. I'm listening to a metronome on my end. Actually, let me pull it up on this computer real quick so you can hear it too. So I'm hitting E to access the door on the first click and quick load on the second one. I think that was early. So since that is early, I will be loading just the quick save. So I'm back into the railroad. So let me do that again. Do the metronome. See if that was it. Yep, that was it. So now when we load in, all I have to do is trigger my punch warp, which will bring us out of bounds, and we will COC back to the entrance of the Institute where we teleported in. Just do a quick save, quick load there. So here we are. Oops. Just going to attack Dez for fun. And here we are, teleporting to the end. The run is almost over. The run is going to end in about like 35 seconds. All I have to do is hit the detonation button on the thingy up here. This is going to blow up the Institute reactor. We get some fireworks. And the run is going to end when my HUD disappears in like 25 seconds or so. I will call time when that is. But, yeah, Fallout 4. Wow. So time is coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time.
GG! We did it.
Woo. Not bad. Not bad. Fallout 4 definitely. Thank
awesome.
you. Fallout 4 definitely went off the rails a bit there.
Yeah.
But that's speedrunning Fallout for you. Speedrunning Fallout it's been, you know, starting to speedrun Fallout back in January of 2017 was like the greatest decision I've ever made in my life because it's led to meeting so many amazing people, being part of such an incredible community, being here, of course, you know, finding things I'm passionate about. So just quick shout out to all of the Fallout speedrunning community. There are some incredible people in there, people who have truly changed my life and changed me as a person for the better. So thank you to all of them. Thank you to everyone who showed up to support. And thank you, Dangerous, for asking me to be on this hotfix.
Hey, thank you for agreeing to be on this hotfix. I was like, I can't believe it took me till now to get you on the show. Like, it feels like you should have been here way long ago. But yeah,
right.
thank you again for showing it off. It was super cool, and I'm glad that we finally got to bring back Anthology after 6 years. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's 6
that's
years since we've
crazy.
seen it on GDQ.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been that long. Yeah,
Me neither.
wow. Yeah, but thank you again for bringing it back. It was awesome. And folks, we are not done yet. We've still got more Crosshair this evening because it's Bethesda Day, and that means all Bethesda games. And of course, we've got the most recent entry, Starfield, is coming. Welcome back to Crosshair. We are moving along with our little Bethesda Day, and I'm very excited for this next run because we had this runner back all the way on episode 1 of Crosshair, way back when, and we're bringing him back today, but this time, instead of running the DLC like you ran the first time, we're running the whole main game. Toyful 9000 is here to show us Starfield new games, so Toyful, take it away.
Hello. I'm here to do the new game run of the game. Hold on. I gotta find my, we start with a pre-made, save file that skipped like what was it, like 2.5 minute intro of the game?
About 2.5, yeah, give or take.
Yeah, so let me just grab that, alright. You can start the timer as soon as I load the save. So let's go, 3, 2, 1.
Good luck.
Okay, let's see what we've got. How are we on time?
Initially, we have to go through this cave sequence, which is about two-ish minutes long. Just a whole bunch of dialogue, and we can skip some of it by like interacting with them and trying to like skip it.
Never take that exhaust out of it.
This is the first one coming up here.
What I learned about working in Freestyle Collective space? Fewer reds. A job like this in the United Colonies? Huh. Reams of red tape. Come on, with me. Let's go.
Oh,
Benny,
looks like I failed it.
a break. Come on.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, it's like 10 seconds.
Let's go.
It's kind of precise. I'm looking for like her head movement on that one.
Yeah. Classic overlapping dialogue.
With me. Let's go. What do you come on? With me.
ain't worth the squeeze.
Let's go.
Alright, at least I got that one. And then it teaches you all the basic movement using like the guns and stuff.
Yes, the cutscene that we skipped at the very beginning is about 2.5 minutes just sitting on an elevator. The part that we loaded was basically right when we get movement, which is kind of where the run officially starts. But you still do have to sit through this kind of somewhat
Oh, thank
cutscene,
God.
having to move around this mine. And it all culminates when you run down here and you take this little laser mining gun and you aim it at this artifact that is on the wall, coming right up here. And you take it down, and then you suddenly get visions of something, and yeah, story lore. We're not going to spoil it too much. As much we'll spoil it as little as we can. But yeah, when you touch the artifact, you get a vision, and then that starts the whole sequence where you create your character, as is kind of the standard in every Bethesda game.
Yeah, and we like select our. Basically, we can select some perks. One of them is to use a boost pack, which is very helpful. Also helps with our ship.
No physical damage. Mentally, the jury's still out. You know,
More dialogue skips coming up as well.
Any bells?
I love how condescending Heller is to you. He's like he's so rude for no reason.
Let's see. That one. Some of these perks just kind of give you also like extra like O2, which is like a sprint mechanic in there. Like you can only sprint so much.
All this trouble?
Never mind.
Very useful.
Client is here.
So we open these doors here. We're gonna basically get this backpack. Boost pack. Oh,
Very precisely.
yes.
It's very it's almost pixel perfect. Getting
There
it
you go,
back.
got it.
There we go. Nice. Well done.
To know better.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Have the once we sell that.
Yeah, he's opening all the doors and kind of running back and forth to overlap the dialogue with all of these actions so that you can just kind of get everything done so that as soon as the dialogue is over with, you can go right outside and progress the quest. Otherwise, you'd have to wait for them to like walk around the base, and it just would take a long time because they move really slowly.
Let's get to this meeting.
Yeah, this is like one of the hardest sections to skip the dialogue.
As
too.
is demonstrated here. Also, I love when they equip helmets.
And then we
It's
can
like
just kind of
instant-
clip through that door,
instant
which
helmet.
is really cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Only works if NPCs open doors for you, though. Let's see if I can.
So, tiny little story thing. We're about to get a bunch of the Starfield equivalent of raiders. We're going to come down on a ship, and it's our first firefight, combat tutorial sequence. And so there's a very specific setup that Teufels going to go for that uses this barrel. I was using it right now to kind of push characters along. This is very similar to what you saw Tomato Angus do with pushing Dad with the toy truck at the beginning of Fallout 3 and pushing Doc Mitchell at the beginning of New Vegas. Very similar thing here. Using props to push characters around is a pretty common mainstay of anything made in Bethesda's engine.
Oh yeah, there's also cover slides in this game. It's only helpful at this one section of the game, and then you'll never see it again.
I think we had a couple of them early on, but then they got routed out like almost immediately.
Pretty much, yeah. It's this one, which is kind of hard to get. Oh, I got it.
Nice. That was cool.
Saves about 5 seconds if you get it, but it's pretty precise.
Yeah, he's going back and forth from the door to the elevator and going back because that just skips all the dialogue. It doesn't save a ton of time in the grand scheme of things. Ooh, nice cover slide. Doesn't save a ton of time in the grand scheme of things, but it saves a little bit. So wait until all the pirates get off the ship and then blows up the barrel. That takes out most of them, and then unfortunately they scattered a little bit. So kind of bad RNG here, but at least
Good damn.
was able to get
Perfect.
most of them pretty quickly. So I've seen setups where they get the raiders to basically just like huddle around the barrel and they all blow up at once. It's pretty impressive when that happens, but it's pretty hard to set up.
Just go.
Well, let's go.
Indigo.
Oh, and hey,
Now we're gonna go meet the main section of the game. Basically, they wanted the artifact, and we're gonna go meet them, and then it starts a whole like story chain of like trying to look for more of the artifacts and whatnot.
And the New Game Plus run is very funny because we use all the big fancy powers and just fly around the map, and we collect all the artifacts like super quickly.
Yeah, the New Game Plus run is insane compared to this. All right. But right now, we gotta like basically escape the pirates because they're chasing us as well. As they follow Barrett to the planet here. But first we gotta do the spaceship tutorial section here.
Now that we are in orbit, it might be wise to test all controls and systems to ensure they are not on the verge of catastrophic failure. I can step you through the entire process, or if you're already an experienced pilot, just power up all the systems, and we'll be on our way.
Okay. Luckily, we can skip it by just doing that instead of
thank you Bethesda for letting us skip this tutorial so we don't have to do it every single playthrough.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a quick save here since my game is prone to... It can crash on this load for some reason.
Oh, good.
Could never figure out why. Just works.
It just works. It just works. Yeah, Vectera is the first big kind of city hub of the game. It's sort of your I'm forgetting the name of the city in Fallout 3. With the nuke in the middle. It's like the first big city that you find. And fans of Oblivion will recognize a character. We're not going to see him in the run because he's a totally optional character to encounter, but there is a character in Vectera who's voiced by the same actor that voices a character from Oblivion, and you'll recognize the character pretty quickly because it's more or less the same character. Because when you first encounter him in Vectera, he says, "By Vectera, by Vectera, by Vectera." And so if you've played Oblivion, that you're going to know exactly what that's a reference to.
The adoring fan.
He's an adoring fan. He was actually pretty useful in the scheme of this game, which is kind of funny. Yeah, this is a skip to get all the way up here and skip having to run around through the inside of everything. As soon as he gets up here, everything spawns in and then just lasers this guy down. That progresses the quest line, and then we can travel to Vectera now to do Atlantis.
Starship Frontier, this is United Colony Security. Maintain course and prepare to be scanned.
Megaton, thank you.
Scan complete.
Yeah, Megaton. So New Atlantis is sort of the actual city. Vectera is the name of the planet. New Atlantis is the name of the city. This is the Megaton of Starfield, the first big hub. And it's actually where you're going to meet where the first faction, the one that you side with, or kind of required to side with, is located, and where a lot of like shops and vendors and like shipbuilding stuff is and whatnot. So
now to do our out of bounds clip, which is like a two. I think it's like a 2-frame window. I'm looking for like a particular like speed frame to land on. That was good, actually.
2-frame window. So this is a really goofy glitch that was found, I think, week 1 of the game. So basically, if you have a melee weapon in hand and you have it equipped, as if you were engaging in combat, and then you jump, and it's you jump and then hit left click as you land, I think is what it is, right?
Well, just to show it off. So if you're like holding it and you're holding a direction, or like Like, it's gonna warp you forward. Basically, all you have to do is hold the direction. And then we're basically pausing on that frame.
Yeah, so it's like you tap forward as soon as you land, or really in any direction, but forward's most common for how we do this.
Yeah.
And you tap it as you land, and then you try to pause while you were in the middle of that warping animation. And the reason why he does this in third person is because if you do this in first person, you just kind of stay in the same spot. But if you do it in third person, when you land, you move one unit forward, and that's what causes that really weird warping forward. This was patched in a later patch of the game, so we are running on an earlier patch in order to be able to do this glitch.
Actually, this glitch isn't patched out. What was patched out was the vendor chest.
Yeah, the vendor chest was moved, so that's why we're down patch. That's right. Yeah. I'm mixing up my speed tech now. It's been a little while since I've actually engaged with this run also. You can still do this on current patch, but they move some things around in the out of bounds area. And so we have to play on an older patch in order to be able to access things like vendor chests that are available for us.
And sometimes even if you get the right speed frame, it doesn't let you go through. Okay, we got it.
There we go. GG.
The game is very particular with some of these frames. My guess is because the land isn't level, so like if you don't land on the level surface, it just doesn't know what to do, so it just pushes you back in bounds. Yeah. Is what I believe is the case. So now we're basically just stealing from the vendor chest. We took money from the first one. Here we're basically grabbing materials so we can make amps, which is like the main drug of the game. It gives you like extra movement speed and jump height. And just look
amp is basically Jet from Fallout. If you have not played this, it's the equivalent. So he's gonna make a bunch of that in order to increase his movement speed. We're gonna use that throughout the run to go a little bit faster.
Good.
All right, time to go meet the folks. Yeah, this was a funny little thing. We were, for the longest time, we were just interacting with the train on the side. And then I think it was when this was shown at I think it was like AGDQ 24 or 24 or SGQ 24. I forget exactly when it was shown, but it was shown at at one of the GDQ marathons. And some guy was like, "Hey, why don't you interact with the front of the train because it doesn't do the train door animation?" And we were like, "What?" And so now we interact with the front or the back of the train, and it skips the door animation, which saves I think like 3 seconds or something.
It's like 7. Ideally.
7? Okay, yeah, it's longer than I thought that. Yeah, so it saves some time, a decent amount too, because this run's actually getting kind of optimized now.
We appear to have a visitor.
Welcome to Constellation. Would you care to... I see. Bosco.
All statements made.
Walter.
And if we hadn't...
We finally hand in the artifact here.
What happened?
And like now we have to go through this whole talk and dialogue sequence. There's like a couple methods you could like go in and out the door. I personally just like waiting till the second dialogue.
Whether it happened or not.
And it was fast this time. Sometimes he takes forever to talk, and I don't know how to manipulate it. But
yeah, Walter's not exactly the nicest guy. It's a New Game Plus run that you could end up getting where he tries to kill you. Very cool.
Oh, yeah.
You should take some time. Come find me when... And here, in addition to...
Bad. Now we're gonna learn to make the drug for amp. Then we're going to need astrodynamics so we can jump to a farther space system, and persuasion is for later in the run.
Yeah, there's some speech checks that are done a little bit later, and speech checks are the most I'll say difficult to do in this game versus like earlier Bethesda titles. You kind of just have to spam quick load and hope, because yeah, they don't always play nice, even if you max out your like persuasion ability.
Okay, no problem.
Here we're using those credits to buy a much better ship to do all the rest of the game with a few modifications. Like an extra gun, some more jump fuel, and the cockpit, so you can actually do like that standing up animation, which it's actually faster to jump systems by like being in a standing up animation instead of doing the whole grab drive situation. If you're just like in any stand-up phase, you can just like do a fast travel like this, and it's way faster.
Which is very funny, because it's when you're traveling from system to system, you just see a bunch of stand-up animations just back to back, and you go, and it's like, if you're just watching and you don't know why that's happening, you're like, why are they just constantly standing up all the time?
All right, so we're basically doing like the biggest sequence break of the game. We're basically going to be skipping half the main quest here. I'm going to make a hard save just in case. That looks good.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be able to travel here. You're not supposed to know where to go here, but speedrunners, of course, we know where to look at on the map, and we can fast travel to that spot.
Good.
And so that's exactly what he did here. He basically fast traveled to a specific spot on the planet, and then triggered a fast travel point, and then fast traveled to it so that he could get here a little bit faster.
And here we're using the outpost system to basically just get free movement. But when you do this like quick landing, it kind of bugs out your UI, so you have to do like a quick load to fix it. Just interacting with that so I can try and get my boost pack up, which is very helpful for later on. But you have to be in combat to like actually level it up. Oh. If you time it just right, you can actually use boost pack to like kind of glide across the water here. So that was actually pretty good.
That wasn't bad. Yeah, you got stuck a couple times, but that was pretty fast overall. Yeah, that glitch is actually really nice, because you get a lot of extra speed and saves multiple seconds in this split.
Oh, he still thinks I'm in combat. That's cute.
Oh.
All right.
That's fine.
I'm just gonna warp back to my outpost. That should clear it. Right. Now we'll meet the main guys of the faction that we kind of like skipped ahead to. They also want the artifacts.
Yeah, this is the Hunter and the Emissary. They are two NPCs that are not human, actually. They are what we call Starborn. This is something that is explained a little bit more clearly in in the game. Now, the Emissary is interesting because it reveals the identity of the character, but right now it's not actually anybody because we have skipped really far ahead into the quest line. And so the Emissary is actually supposed to be the second NPC, or the second highest NPC that you have a relationship with in the home faction. That's the one that gets killed off and then suddenly shows up here. So a little minor spoiler there, but it'll, when you play the game, you'll kind of see it coming. And then the other one is Walter's, actually, like the Starborn version of Walter. And I'm going to explain like the kind of the reason for why they exist and all that. That's lore stuff that you'll find out if you ever decide to pick up this game for yourself. But yeah, because we skipped so far ahead, the character model that is in the Emissary isn't actually like any of the characters from the faction. It's just kind of like this default facial image that they use. It's kind of weird. And then if you end up playing through the game, you won't end up seeing that yourself. Like if you play through it normally, the only reason why we see it is because we've skipped so far ahead and just interrupted quest flags in really random orders.
We got Walter in the floor.
Nice. Yeah, I've had it happen with Vlad floating above the table, and I've actually had it happen where he just kind of floats, kind of elevates all the way through the ceiling. It actually is a soft lock, and that was one of the bugs that Bethesda needed to patch very early on because people were soft locking their games left and right. Wow. It was a really funny glitch.
Luckily, I've never encountered that one.
Oh, I had that happen to me in two different spots. One kind of infrequently, one almost every time, until I started doing some real jankery with my saves to be able to bypass it.
So as one of the Starborn wanted us to, we're basically gonna go listen about the lore. But while the lore is happening, we're going to be doing other things. To complete other quests. Because you need to complete 2 quests to progress to the final mission of the game. While we're at it, we're collecting, I think, 2 artifacts while we're at it.
And fans of Fallout 4 will recognize Victor Isa. That is Stephen Russell, who also plays Nick Valentine in Fallout 4. And I think 100 billion characters in Skyrim. So you'll probably recognize that voice. You also recognize him if you played Thief, because he is the voice of the protagonist in that game too. Love how the audio log is still playing, even through all of that.
But by the time the jets right, by the time I get to the top of the NASA station, which is where it basically tells you to go, I'll be able to. It basically gives you the key to interact with the door up top. But it's a very long text sequence.
Yeah, and and we also skip part of it too, which is even better. So we actually are able to kind of get up here a little bit earlier than I think you're really intended to. Just by doing some fancy Warming.
Oh,
Oop. Almost.
just gonna wait for my boots to be fully available here.
There you go. Nice. Yeah, there's a long, like, twisting, winding pathway that you're supposed to take to get up here, and yeah, we skip that. We just jump. We just jump and mantle platforms. That upgraded boost pack perk that we took and managed to work on when we were on Hyla helps a lot here. Now, this is one of the hardest warps in the game, so I'm gonna quiet up for a little moment and let Teufel focus, because this one's tricky.
Yeah, these ones are really tricky. That one looked good. Oh,
Almost.
almost. I had the right speed there. That one should be good too. All right, so we managed to get the first clip. So we do photo mode because otherwise, like, as soon as you load in, you just like immediately fall. But by doing photo mode, you basically just stop your entire speed. Oh boy.
Oh.
that was some buggy movement, but I managed to recover. It's fine.
Well done.
Yeah, you're supposed to like go down this entire place just to get to the bottom, but here we're just gonna clip out of bounds and then we're just gonna fall down into it. Okay, I don't know why I grappled there, but
That was interesting.
I never actually got to. My name is Dr.
Oh, yeah,
only we
Victor
had
Isaac
speed
were talking
cripple
about.
here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Victor Isaac we were talking about before. He is on the floor at that desk where we were. He's no longer walking around, let's say. So yeah.
So I just
my
did
foes are
another
trying to get in.
zip right there. I basically just saved like 10 seconds of running around, which was cool. We don't actually do that because kind of crazy. Oh man, did I actually get that first try? I did.
Oh, nice. That's really impressive. That's a really tough one. So well done.
I just got slowed down for a second. Ooh.
Yeah, he's making this look easy. These are not easy skips. Like, I mean, some of the ones in other places are a little bit easier, but the ones specifically here in the NASA Tower are not. They are like weirdly precise, and there's actually a few different setups that you can do.
All right, so that's NASA. Now we talked to these guys, and they basically, before in the previous, when we first met them, they wanted to like pick one of them to team up with them to get the last artifact eventually. We don't care, so we're gonna just go against both of them. It's actually faster that way. And now we need to get the last artifact before we can go meet them again. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Of course.
Oh, jeez.
It's because I'm targeting it.
Yeah.
I think this is probably the hardest planet to actually do fast.
Yeah.
Because there's 3 zips. Yeah,
Like that,
3.
yeah. Yeah, so if you remember the Fallout 4 run, we had Memory Den in Fallout 4. This is kind of like the Memory Den of Starfield, if you want to think of it that way. Luckily, there are a few big skips for it. It's still a really long sequence, and the skips are actually really difficult. He's going to go for one here. This one, if you don't get it, it's not like the end of the world, but it does speed things up a little bit. It's pretty precise and tricky. If you can get it. That may have been it.
Yep.
Nice. Well done.
Oh,
Yeah, that skips the door. Skips the sequence having to talk to this guy. And now we overwarped into an alternate universe, and just going to kill those things, and then warp back to our main universe. And Ethan rightfully says, "What on earth is going on?" Yeah, we disappeared and then reappeared suddenly. So he's right to be very confused by what's happening right now. But yeah, the lore reason of it is this facility had something go catastrophically wrong, and now it's basically there's two universes occupying this space, and so you're warping in between them now. He's going to go for another one of those warps here. If he gets this quickly, oh darn.
That was very disorienting.
Yeah, if you could do that quickly, Raphael won't talk to you, but unfortunately he managed to talk to us and also make the camera act weird. Yeah, this is also a really precise one, so I'm gonna hush up for a second.
It looked alright. Cool.
Nice.
All right, now we get to do one of those up warps. We have to go down this elevator. Hopefully I get it here. Perfect.
Nice. Good job. Yeah, so I don't think this works the same way in Fallout 4, because Fallout 4 has like a COC range where you get warped to, the 000 coordinates. In this game, it seems like just if you're under the floor, it warps you directly up to whatever spot you are. Like it just changes your Z-axis. It doesn't seem like there's any kind of warping to 000 mechanic in this one, but this game's still pretty early. It only came out a couple years ago, so there's still time to test and learn new things about it. Okay, he's going for another warp here. This one's, again, these are tricky, especially this one because there's that like weird rock that's like sticking out on the side.
Yeah, normally in the run we basically go by the elevator, but I found this one a little safer because it's all about a deal with like collision. So the elevator one just sometimes does not like to work very often.
And I forget, are you using the speedometer, or did that?
Yes, I am.
Broken. Yeah, okay, I couldn't remember if that had been fixed or not.
Yeah, we got it fixed.
Nice. Yeah, so we have a built-in plugin that we use with LiveSplit that has a speedometer attachment, so we can see how fast we're going. And we're looking for specific frames for when to get the clip, but we're also looking for a specific speed on that speedometer that'll kind of let us know if we've clipped into the wall or not, or at least if we have the conditions set up properly so that we can clip in.
Yeah, and there's like two different speeds. There's like a quick save frame, and then there's like a hard save frame. The hard save is like if you're like, it's like 200 plus speed. It's like it's a ridiculously big number. And for quick saves, it's like I think like 1.4 to 1.8 that we're looking for. Fortunately, I'm not getting it right away here.
Oh, that looked good.
Yeah, a little slow.
Oh, almost. Ooh. Oh, darn.
And I'm getting cursed.
Like I said, these are difficult skips. So yeah, like you're seeing just how tough this actually is.
Okay, that one actually
the fact
looked
that
good.
he got them earlier was kind of unusual. Yeah, I was like, that looks good. Yeah, nice. Well, that gets us up here. Yeah, he's gonna just push a bunch of interaction points that are spread throughout, all while avoiding getting trounced by the enemies that are playing very nice and not actually bothering him right now. They're not usually this nice. They try and kill
usually
me every time I do this. Yeah.
Oh, there's
there
one.
it is. Yeah, just gonna climb and mantle and get out of here. But yeah, this is gonna lower this laser field. That way you can grab this artifact. Because again, we need to collect all of these in order to progress the main quest to the final sequence. And now that that is done, there's like another like lore thing with this thing with the two universes occupying the space, and like which universe do you want to save, blah, blah, blah. You can play through the game and learn it all yourself. I don't want to spoil too much if I can help it. But it is kind of a cool story.
I wasn't sure. I mean,
Also, shout outs to Raphael's mustache.
it's not much. You're welcome to any.
Yeah, really nice mustache.
This glorious mustache.
All right, now we proceed to go meet them on the final planet. All right, why is it being funky? There we go. Oh. He gave me so many resources that I can't fast travel. Okay, hold on.
Oh, you were over encumbered.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
funny thing, the actual like inventory in this game is really tiny by default. So
Yeah.
that I've had that happen before, and he just gives you random junk, and if you can literally just become encumbered. And it's like, why am I not fast traveling?
Yeah, Bethesda did something kind of weird with this game where, like, you know, you could be like a combat build or a persuasion build. You could also be a crafting build, which is like its own thing. And you'd have to put points into like your inventory size and your crafting speed. Kind of a weird choice to do that, but yeah, I don't know. The way they did things.
No more words. The fight is a cutting call. Nothing can get away.
Yeah, this is one of the firefights that you get into in the ship. We don't really have a lot of these in the main game on land, but this is, and I think this is actually the only one in this category that we do, is fighting Helix and Scorpius, the two ships that the Emissary and the Hunter occupy. There we go. Yeah, once you get them low enough, they run tail between their legs, and then you can proceed onto Masada 3. Yeah, here you have a long sequence that you're supposed to, like, you know, firefight your way through with this, and like there's gonna be tons of spawning enemies and whatnot. Yeah, we're not doing any of that. We're just gonna run through everything. And yeah, because we're playing on the lowest difficulty, that's gonna give us the highest chance to get out of here without getting you know, the tar beaten out of us. I can do a little platforming here. This isn't really out of bounds. It's just kind of like the edge of the map, and so we can kind of climb up and get out this way. A little easier
Yeah,
to
we're
do that
just like, we're not fighting you. We're just gonna keep going.
Yeah, or we're just gonna run through here. Now you do have to do a little bit of combat in this part. These two, I'm trying to remember how the quest flags work for this one. It's you have to kill an NPC to open a door, I think it is, or to give you a key to unlock it.
Yeah, normally you would have to fight those, and which then spawns these ones, and they spawn a key so you can open the door.
We skipped
here.
through this part, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm mixing up this and glitchless. Yeah, we can skip through the wall here and hit the loading trigger from out of bounds by getting through here.
Okay. Oh. That one look good.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I accidentally popped the amp earlier.
Oh
so
no. Yeah, we're
luckily,
moving fast. However, yeah,
it kind of makes it harder to do the.
Yep.
Do the
Having
clips.
amp on increases your movement speed, which consequently actually makes the warp skip a lot harder to do. Interacted with the thing. That's funny. Makes this a little bit harder to do. So now he's made this exponentially more difficult on himself by by having that amp active. So either he's gonna get very lucky and pull. Oh, whoa, wait, did you just do it? Oh, almost.
Almost.
That looked good. It looked like you had it.
Maybe.
That looked okay. Man.
Yeah,
Definitely gonna be a little bit harder now with amp active.
Oh, nice. Amp wore off just on the frame there. I swear.
Okay, that looked good. Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, like we said, 2-frame window. You have 2 frames to pull this off, so a little bit of a tight squeeze.
All right. That one should be good.
Nice.
Perfect.
So yeah, now we can skip through this whole area by just kind of climbing over the rooms and just running out of bounds. And this skips a long quest. This is easily like one of the longest quests in the game. Main game and side game included. I think it's into this last area, which we have to get in here because the loading zone trigger is in this elevator. And we just boop that button and we are in the second to last loading zone, I think.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You see like a vision of like the eye, which we didn't go to in here.
Oh yeah, we never went to the eye. That's right.
I'm gonna try this.
Oh no, alternate universe.
Nope, didn't get it. I had the right speed though. But you could clip out of bounds there and you skip this whole elevator ride. It saves like 10 seconds, but it's to actually get it is
time
like
save, but it's nice.
not a big time save. It's cool if I actually pulled it off.
So yeah, favorite thing about this elevator is you get off the elevator and they give you so much ammo, like so much ammo. And you kind of wonder, I wonder if there's a big fight coming up ahead. Certainly, there's no reason why they're giving me all this ammo and all these stim packs. Yeah, big fight coming up ahead. This is like, but this game doesn't really have, quote unquote bosses. At least not in like the traditional sense. So instead, they have like these really big cinematic firefights that you have to work your way through, and this is one of them. So this one, you have one of the guardians. Guardians of the artifact are sort of your antagonist during this quest line. And unfortunately, there's a bunch of clones as well. So luckily, you can identify which one's the real one by both the quest marker and the health bar. So you can just kind of shoot at it and skip the clones. Then it's going to warp to somewhere.
Right behind me. Wow.
That was very good RNG. Yeah, I've seen that thing warp multiple times all the way across the arena each time. So that was really good RNG.
And this is the last part of the RNG section.
Yep, the persuasion check. This is the most annoying part of the run. So
you could have the most perfect run and then just lose it on just bad persuasion.
Pissed away right here. Yep. So Teuffel's gonna make a quick save right before talking to these two, and then hopefully the persuasion check goes well here. It is entirely random if this works or not. We did take that speech check earlier to like hopefully make it work. Yeah, so we gotta reload. Yeah, so you have a finite number of tries with doing these speech checks. This is kind of like the speech system from the modern Deus Ex games. If you've played those, it's similar to some degree. A little bit different, but kind of along the same lines. Ooh. Oh my God, you failed the easy one. This game is not being nice right now. Yeah, this is we got the amazing RNG from the Guardian fight. Now we're paying it back because yin and yang, I guess. Okay.
Come on. Sometimes there's a critical and it just like completes it no matter what.
Yep. Yeah, critical speech check will just automatically finish the whole thing for you without you having to do the rest of it. That was ironically lucky after getting so unlucky multiple times. Yeah, we have to wait for this stupid thing to stop spinning, and then we can actually grab the artifact inside, although it's going to push us around a lot, which is annoying. And then we warp. Yeah, this whole game's story has to do with multiverses and like, you know, multiple versions of the same universe, and yeah, it's a whole big thing. It'll be explained a little bit better when you actually like watch the game's cutscenes. What's going to be very odd is when you actually see your own character talking to you. Which you're going to see pretty soon. So we got the grav drive from that last mission. We're going to pop that into our ship, and that allows us to actually, you know, warp like this all the way into the very last sequence. So time is coming up pretty soon. It's going to basically have to walk through a long quote unquote hallway, and then he's going to talk to himself for a minute before, and then we'll call time when that happens. Yeah, we just have to touch that big planet-looking thing. Also, that's us.
You made it. I never get the infinite.
We apparently stole Raphael's mustache.
That's good. In order to become that and a part of you, do you understand? Very well. Walk into the. But that isn't you. I have enjoyed speaking.
All right, and time is coming up as soon as the camera stops moving once we've touched the thing, and
that's time.
GG. Very good run, and yeah, thank you again for coming back onto Crosshair and showing this off. This was fun. I know this game was not critically well received, but I really enjoyed playing it. I had a lot of fun with it. And I know you had a lot of fun doing the speed run, and I promise I will verify your run one day, just as soon as I'm sure you're not going to immediately PB 10 minutes after I verify it like it happened last time. So, yeah, if you want to tell everybody where they can find you on the internet, and if you can give any shout outs you want to give.
Yeah, you can find me at Toyful9000 on Twitch and YouTube, and yeah. If you really want to say really good run, you should look up Hark's run of the any percent run. It is like almost perfect.
Yeah,
I really suggest actually
optimized run.
Checking it out.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you again for
and thank you again
and coming all the way back after episode 1. So it's great to have you back on the show. But yeah, folks, that is going to be it for Crosshair this evening. But fret not, because the GDQ Hotfix is not over yet. Coming up next, we have speedruns from the crypt. So stick around for some spooky speedruns. And it's Lollipop Chainsaw Day. And Romeo is a Dead Man just came out. And it's the same developer as Lollipop Chainsaw. So stick around to watch it. You'll enjoy it. But yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode of Crosshair. And that one, I can't really do a hint for that one, unfortunately. But come back in 2 weeks. You'll see a cool episode of Crosshair, I promise. And as always, folks, no matter what your dreams, goals, or hopes are in this world, always keep them in your crosshair.